주어질라. 나 드림마 English the 인계도 주기도 한 사람들이 겨가도 순진하게해서 지금 상황 공세 시험하는 것이 제공해 주셔가지고. Good morning to one and all. On the behalf of Human Rights Law Network and ITOS Bangalore, I extend a very warm welcome you all for this workshop. I would like to begin the workshop with a brief introduction of our dignitaries and speakers over here. First speaker we have our senior advocate, Mr. Colin Gonzalez. Welcome, sir. A second speaker we have Local Justice Commissioner of Southern Tibetan Settlement, Ms. Namgyet Sikila. And third speaker we have Local Justice Commissioner of North Region, Ms. Tenzin Tundula. And fourth we have activist Tenzin Tundula. And fifth, the only practicing Tibetan advocate in Southern Tibetan Settlement, Mr. Tilin Dorjila. And last speaker we have advocate and program coordinator Chirishurila. And once again a very warm welcome to our dignitaries here. Now I would like to request our most well-known person, especially among the youths, who is a writer, poet, thinker, of course, social and freedom activist, Mr. Tenzin Tundula, to give us the brief introduction of this 2 days program. Sir, please welcome.
Just delay. Yes, I'll do that in English preferably, so that we all understand that there's no requirement of translation. This venture actually started from the Dharamshala, legal education and awareness workshop. Started from the Dharamshala years back, and this is the fourth such a workshop. But even otherwise, we had a number of these legal consultations within the Tibetan community. The necessity is the one that has driven us on this path of consultation, workshop. The necessity is this, such that we as Tibetan refugees are not formally being called. Legally, we are not even refugees. So during the last session that we had in Dharamshala, similar 2-day workshop in Dharamshala, at the end of the workshop, one old Tibetan man stood up and made his revelation. And he said, "I'm so sad that now I'm not even a proper refugee." He was thinking all his life, and he came from Tibet in 1959, and all this time he's been thinking that he is a refugee. Now, Human Rights Law Network conducted this legal workshop in Dharamshala, and legally said that Tibetans in India are not refugees. We are foreigners living in India for a period of 1 year. And therefore he was very sad to know that his only title, identity of refugee has been taken away legally. So this became a kind of a revolution to a lot of Tibetans, because we usually call ourselves refugees, and legally we are getting to know that we are not refugees by law in India. Legal awareness and education. This is the necessity that has driven us in partnership with the Human Rights Law Network and working together. Human Rights Law Network has been in existence and in the service not only in Delhi but all over India, in partnership with their own branches, with a number of social activists, researchers and lawyers, capable lawyers in so many different Indian towns and cities. We came across Human Rights Law Network almost about 10 years now. Built a very strong relationship. Human Rights Law Network offers pro bono legal representation, advice, consultation and training. And particularly because we fall in the category of refugees, along with Burmese, Sudanese, Nepalese, Bhutanese, Afghani, Iraqi, Iranian, number of refugees living in Delhi. Human Rights Law Network especially offers refugees these consultation and services and also legal representation. Tibetans, of course, we have a penchant of getting arrested, locked up in Tihar jail, and a number of times there was always a need of legal representation, which Human Rights Law Network provided freely and with great enthusiasm. With these relationships of being the lawyer, consultant, trainer, and most importantly, a friend of Tibet, Human Rights Law Network has built, actually we have been able to build a very strong relationship, and thereof not just supporting each other, but basically trying to understand each other. Human Rights Law Network, besides representing cases, and in many places pro bono or even at very nominal rates, has been providing that humanitarian service, and Tibetans have hugely benefited from that. I remember the last time I went to Tihar jail was Hu Jintao's India visit in April last year. At the time when I was being released from jail, we were 382 activists, and out of which 120 were women activists. Because this was my third time in Tihar jail, and perhaps the 13th time I was going into jail, difference that I saw when I was being released was among the lawyers. There was a Tibetan lawyer who was also representing us, and that was Sering Children. So that was a development. Earlier, when I used to be released, Indian lawyers represented me, and this time, Sering Children was there with another Indian lawyer getting bail for us for 382 activists. I think that has been the development, that Human Rights Law Network has not only provided that, but also offered that kind of platform for Tibetan lawyers to be able to work. Unfortunately, we do not have many lawyers among the Tibetan community who could otherwise be a part of HRM, get trained, work, and be at the service. We have at the moment only Sering Children. In South India, we have Thilela, and I was meeting yesterday for the first time, but I found out a great deal of things that he has been doing, wonderful work of representation, legal intervention and advice that he's been doing in South India. I was really happy to see such capable legal hands that we have in South India. So this legal education and workshop series that we started from Dharamshala in the year 2006 has now come to this level where we have come to this formally conducting legal workshops, but even otherwise we have on a number of bases we have been building that kind of relationships. Colin Gonzalez, Supreme Court senior lawyer who is with us here today, has always been a friend to that. Had even consulted with us at the time when some of you will remember that when we were leading March to Tibet in the year 2008, he was our legal advisor. He was with us. And when we came with this most wonderful idea of walking to Tibet with thousands of Tibetans together, he had tears in his eyes. He said, this is the one that should be done. And he said, and we were asking him what kind of steps we should be taking. And he said, you take the step, I'll be there wherever and whenever you want it. My help and support. That is the man Colin Gonzalez is. Somebody who believes in people's vision to fight for justice, at whatever cost. And he'll be willing to. And when we were actually on the march, we got arrested. For me, for example, in that year, in 2008, I got arrested 5 times, went to 4 different jails in 1 year. And all these cases were fought in Dera, in Dharamchala, Dharchula in Uttarakhand, Berinag in Uttarakhand, Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. In all these places, Human Rights Law Network's lawyers and their subsidiary friends, supporters were always there in getting us release and also security, providing us security and legal advices wherever needed. We built that kind of relationship. So therefore, Human Rights Law Network that I'm very happy to introduce here to my Tibetan youngsters. This has been the relationship. This is how we have been able to work together. One very important person that I should mention, but who is not here, is Anand Asthana. He's a personal friend of mine. We've worked with Human Rights Law Network for a number of years. Today he is a lawyer working for juvenile cases in Delhi. He has been playing a pivotal role in building this relationship with the Tibetans and Human Rights Law Network. He played that role as a lawyer and also a friend to Tibet, and also being an activist himself. Today he is a lawyer practicing in Delhi. When we started this series of workshops in Dharamshala, it began with the first journey of consultation. What happened was there were a number of cases. Tibetans in Himachal particularly, number of institutions, particularly monasteries, nunneries, schools, handicraft centers, they need land. And Tibetans, being foreigners living in India, we cannot buy land. And therefore, what usually people do is lands are bought in Indian name, and therefore Indians become the owner of the land, but the Tibetans use it. And in this process, almost about, right up to 2006, almost about 78 cases of Benami land has been registered. Which means that the land, all these land pieces are bought in the name of Indians, but they are run by Tibetans. And this is illegal. Possession of the land in paper is in Indian names, but it's being run by Tibetans, funded by Tibetans. And then that year, 2006, the Himachal Congress government confiscated all the land. And then handed it over to the Central Relief Committee of Department of Home of the Tibetan government in exile. and then said that the land will now no longer be possessed by anybody other than the Himachal government. But they are released to the Central Tibetan Relief Committee, Department of Home of the Tibetan government in exile, who will function it, run it as they are, whether they are monasteries or schools or hospitals or even individuals. And that became a major issue. But then that year it got regularized. And then the BJP government came in Himachal. They raised another issue with the same case. But even now, the cases have risen to almost about 100 cases of Benami land. But there have been, all of them are now being regularized. So they are now no longer called Benami. They are properties of the Himachal state government, but they are released for use to the Central Tibetan Relief Committee. So they no longer become Penal. Like this, there are a number of other issues, cases of, for example, RCs, ICs. Tibetans who came from Tibet after 2006 have been categorized into what is called RCs with pilgrimage, RCs with education purpose, RCs for what is the category of others. They were not regularized after 2006. And between 2006 right up to 2010, a number of Tibetans could not regularize their RCs, which makes them completely legally vulnerable. And because they were coming from Tibet, they didn't have proper RCs. And because they were coming from Tibet, because India doesn't recognize Tibet as an independent country, India would therefore recognize these Tibetans as Chinese. So they become Chinese intruders. Absolutely vulnerable. And then in Dharamshala, because of bad habits of police, which is all across in India, police would generally walk around in the nights in Dharamshala and randomly check newcomers for their papers. And because their papers could not be regularized on legally, they didn't have proper RCs with them. And Tibetans would, if they are asked to produce their RCs like 10 o'clock in the night, they would run away. And the police would think that they have some criminal background, right? So they chase. So Dharamshala has actually become that place of suspicion, fear, vulnerability, and police taking advantage of that and just generally demanding 50 rupees and 100 rupees, just randomly from different people. And this has come down to a great disservice to otherwise the heavenly place of freedom that India has offered to Tibetans. These and then a few other cases like accidents, motorbike, without riding the motorbike without a helmet, and then having to appear in the court with no assurance. You know, usually when you need a bail from a court, you would need a bail either by bonding of money, or you would want an assurance being given by an Indian citizen having a property. And because Dharamshala has played that haven for the Tibetans, a place where just by speaking Tibetan was quite alright, a number of Tibetans did not learn Hindi. They did not make many friends among Indians. So therefore when they were caught, arrested, they were not able to speak properly in Hindi or English. or they didn't have Indian friends with properties. So they just ended up in police lockup. These and various other challenges, legal challenges, have pushed the Dharamshala community for a need of legal workshop. Here in Bangalore, though this workshop is being done here for the first time, and children and I, we were earlier talking that we must do this in Bailukupi, where we must bring key Tibetan leaders from Kollegal, Hunsur, Bailukupi, Mysore and Mungod and give this workshop, where I believe that Lela can play a very important role in training Tibetan leaders. Because if the Tibetan leaders do not understand these legalities, then how will they run the community, and how will they lead the Tibetan community, and how will common people understand law? Because people do not understand law, there is fear of law, there is fear of police, there is fear of everything, and they were willing to pay any kind of money to Indian lawyers, who then take advantage. Again, the issue is not about Tibetan Indian, it is everywhere in Indian towns and cities. Courts have become industries of money making, and this is perhaps the worst phase of the colonial hangover, the worst case, where lawyers are rampantly making money, where young people are studying law only to make money, take advantage of people's vulnerability and their ignorance of law. These are the issues that this workshop has been, in a very limited space, been trying to deal with these issues. So today, when we are opening this workshop, we hope that the students would be more aware, be educated of a number of legal issues, and be empowered. In the Tibetan struggle, the basic strategy that we've been working was never to destroy the enemy, but win by empowering ourselves. It is the lack of our power that we are not free. If we are under foreign occupation, it is the lack of our power and not the enormity of the enemy's power. If we are truly empowered by our education, by our skills, by our international contacts, by our legal awareness and education, we will be empowered to such a level that we will be individually independent and fearless. And this is one space where we can work, and we need to. I will end by speaking very briefly about status of Tibetans, which Children Lab will take a whole new session about it. I began by saying that we are not refugees. I began by saying that we are foreigners. What I mean by this is that in India, you are either a citizen or a foreigner. You are not a refugee. In other countries like, for example, Nepal, or France, or United States, or Canada, or a number of other countries, there are citizens, refugees, foreigners, and also dual citizens. India doesn't practice dual citizenship. India doesn't practice refugee law. India has either a citizen or a foreigner. And that makes us, however sentimentally we call ourselves refugees, we are not refugees. We are foreigners living in India, registered though. If you actually look very closely at your RCs, right in the beginning, foreigners registration for Tibetans, government of India. So we are all foreigners, we are not refugees. India doesn't practice refugee law because India is not signatory to the 1951 Refugee Convention, International Treaty, and 1967 Refugee, again, International Treaty, Refugee Protocol. These are the two documents that a number of other countries have signed. India has not. Therefore, India is not practicing refugee law. Therefore, we cannot be refugees, even though we love to call ourselves refugees. And for all of us, we have been carrying that refugee identity so much so that when we were kids in our Tibetan schools, our teachers used to tell us that, there is an R on your forehead. We are all refugees. And that became our identity. And we started to build our identity as against and as opposed to the Indian neighbors. We looked at ourselves as refugees. And I truly believed that there was an R on my forehead. I believed that it was a kind of a culture within our school. We all believed that there was an R. And because we could not see the R on our forehead on each other, or even in the mirror, we used to rub the nail in our thumb up and down 79 times on our forehead and make a mark. Later it becomes a wound. And that became the identity of refugee. We used to build it for ourselves. We used to think that is the idea of refugee. So so much has been built about the idea of refugee that today if somebody said you are not refugee, we would feel sad. Like our only identity has been taken away. And I think that was the tragedy that this old man faced in Dharamshala when we did the refugee, because of this legal workshop. It's kind of unsettling when after a long session of legal workshop that you realize that you are not a refugee, that you are a foreigner. You feel bad. You don't want to be a foreigner because you don't feel foreign. Actually, none of us actually feel foreigner in India. We feel very homely in India. Somebody like me, I'm actually more Indian than Tibetan. My education, my accent, my English, my politics, everything is very Indian. So if somebody said you are a foreigner, I would think like you are more foreigner. And usually among Indian friends, I used to say like I'm more Indian than you because I speak 4 different Indian languages, and there isn't a state in India I have not been to, and I'm more familiar with Indian cultures and languages and religions that I would perhaps survive better whether I'm put in Mizoram or Ladakh or Kerala or in Delhi or anywhere. So among Indian friends, I usually tease them and say that I'm more Indian than you. However, foreigner, the law has made us into. India is again one country what embraced what is called these people, and because we are not saying refugees, right? So it's these people from all different parts of the world. There are people from Sudan, Africa, South America, Canada, wherever there are peoples with problems of papers, they come to India and they live here. And India is one country where it's not the lethargy or the lack of legal functionalities. It's just I would say the humanity of India is such that it allows people to stay as long as they want and refuse to send them back. So there are refugees, people from so many different countries living in India. Perhaps India is one country who has, without refugee law, has the maximum number of refugees. And that is, I think, is a greatness of India. And I will stop here. This is, for me, the introduction of how we started to work together with Acharan, how we have benefited from Acharan as Tibetans, and this is the necessity of doing such legal workshops in the Tibetan community, and more to do in future. And I'm really happy that Colin himself is here this time. He couldn't come to Dharamshala. Of course, you sent 4 other lawyers from Delhi, and also 3 other lawyers who are based in Dharamshala. But this time you're here, and you will speak to us on certain important issues. And I hope that all of us will pay attention, learn, be aware, and empower ourselves so that individually we will be able to contribute in the struggle from a new angle, and that is law. Thank you.
Thank you for your highlighting about the workshop in very informative and objective manner. We would like to see you and hear you, your voice, your wisdom again. As we are all aware and also very much experience the complexity of the status in our daily basis. Therefore, we have 2 speakers who will be representing the community and share with us on the challenges that we Tibetans face. So may I call upon Git Tundula, who is director of the Tibetan Youth Hostel, to share his view. Please, sir.
Distinguished lawyers, staff members, respected speakers here, and dear students. And also I see many of youth leaders and SFT members also. Warm Teshtelek and good morning to each and every one of you. At the outset, I want to deeply thank this Human Rights Law Network led by Mr. Colin Gonzalez, senior Supreme Court lawyer, for conducting such a wonderful workshop for the Tibetans. Try to teach the law concept from the very basics to try to disseminate informations related with law. Now myself, actually I'm not a kind of panelist or speaker as such, but then being here in Bangalore for the last now nearly 6-7 years, the youth leader here told me to say some words about the challenges as the Tibetans we face in our day-to-day life. So in that direction, I feel that in the larger context, we all are Tibetans. In that way, we all are facing some kind of challenges, like by and large we hold RC, which is a residential certificate, as Sundul has mentioned. Even though we are not refugee as such, we are put in as kind of foreigners who are eligible to stay in India for 1 year now, being extended for 5 years. These are the, I think, like legal parameters we as the Tibetans we are facing. Like there is a lack of ambiguity, there is a lack of clarity about how our stance being taken by the government of India. In the long many years, even now also, we have a concept that we are a refugee. So through information, through this kind of discussion, to this kind of workshops, many of us try to engage and try to know that now, like, we are actually like foreigners. So this kind of workshops, I think, in a way, really enabled and teach us many things. And these are, I think, like one of the difficulties in a larger way, how we as Tibetans, like, being considered in this country. At present, okay, things are quite okay, like by the grace of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the tremendous support from the government of India. There's not much severe or a drastic kind of, the major difficulty as such. But I think in the long run, there is a danger. There is difficulties that we may face, like, because when our identity is not, clearly known, like many Tibetans when they go abroad, like, we came to know that after, say, 5, 6, 7 years, they became the nationality of that particular country. But here in India, we as the Tibetans, now being more than 5, now nearly 6 decades, but then we continue to be a refugee of this particular country, even though we say refugee, but technically we are not refugee, as Sindula has said. And then another difficulty is that some Tibetans tries to become Indian nationalities. That is, many of them are born in India also, and at the same time, many of the Tibetans, when they want to pursue some kind of higher education in some highly professional course, where it demands that particular students to be Indian nationals. So, can we become Indian national? That is also a big challenge. So I think this is one of the challenges that we face as Tibetans. But now another thing is that we as a Tibetan, we have a huge responsibility for our rightful cause, that is to return back to our own homeland. In this direction, I think also the legal awareness and especially legal knowledge is really need of the hour. Because like in the past, now also many of try to deal with our issue through like kind of, we raise our issue like through demonstrations and through many ways. But now more than 50 plus years in India, now I think it's high time we as a Tibetans, after gaining that much kind of knowledge and education in India, especially we see lots of lawyers coming up in our Tibetan communities, and also many Tibetans continues to study law as subjects. And I'm happy that today in our audience we have quite a large number of students from Mysore or Jesus Law College. I envision like in future many of you will take up this challenge, like through law as a subject, through this medium, and how we as Tibetans can fight for our justice through knowledge power, through soft power. So these are the challenges, I think. And then apart from this, I think the day-to-day another kind of enormous challenge that we Tibetans face is as a college students. Now many of here are college students, and they are respectfully, many of them are here from Bangalore, and many from also another south cities in South India. In this direction, now what happened is that as I said, mentioned before, the lack of clarity about our own stance, like we as not as a refugee and as a foreign nationals, that this has this is making us another kind of difficulties for our college students when they take college admissions. Even though many of the college they consider Tibetans as any other internationals, we pay the fees like any other internationals. But then we see some colleges and some universities also adopt like the case of Mysore University. They consider Tibetans as foreign nationals, and whereas in the Madras University we see it's a huge in Madras universities they give tremendous support to the Tibetans. Whatever is, they consider Tibetans not only like any other internationals but as a refugee kind of thing status. In that direction, many Tibetans studies in Madras University with very less fees and having lots of support from the own college office. So these are the some kind of ambiguity and the level of there's a difference in the treatment of Tibetan students in a larger way. Even though most of the colleges consider Tibetans as any other internationals, we pay the same as Indian students' fees. But then I think that this is also why this problem comes is also because of that constitutionally from the government of India there's no, I don't see it so far, I don't know whether it is there or not. So this is also a challenge, not for the students, but then the students who are taking up this law course, and also those Tibetans who are already practicing law, and also we have a respectful branch of senior Tibetan lawyers who are executing their own work, one in North Branch and one in South Branch. So I think this is also a huge challenge, because now this 21st century, I think now as also I'm happy that quite a number of Tibetans participate here, and I hope maybe this afternoon and maybe tomorrow, since it's holiday, I hope more Tibetan students will join here and try to gain more insight into this law kind of, the information that they try to give to the students. So I will stop here, and in a nutshell, I would like to put something I think now we as the Tibetans, I think when we are getting this kind of opportunities, we really have to make best use of it. And I thank all the persons concerned who are involved in making this program. And finally, now one thing I would like to say is that since we have lots of panelists here who are related with law, and also many students who are continues to do law as subjects, and I think now time come, I think we should take up such matters through knowledge. Because we see lots of, we see the results in many ways, we don't see much kind of forthcoming. So through soft power, through knowledge, I think through this kind of information, when we try to disseminate the information to the students, and also when the students try to take up their own challenges, I think the time comes really those who are in their own expertise, those who are on their own field, try to come up and really take up serious issues. Especially the main difficulties which we are facing is, I think Jadula has put that we really have to make clarity that we are not refugee, when the government of India is not recognizing us as a refugee but as a foreigners. So because of this, I think in the short term it's okay. I think we have not faced that much problems or challenges. But I think in the long term, if there is no clarity, even when we come to college admissions, like all of us, we have lots of from Northeast also, or from Nepalese, Bhutan also. Okay, we say we are Tibetans. Okay, that is fine. But then apart from that, we also have any other persons from another nationality background. So in that sense, we don't have a kind of legal kind of notice that is there. I mean, like that is there in Indian Penal Code, or that is there in the Constitution of India. The treatment of Tibetans in the college as a college students, or in our day-to-day activities. So I stop here. I thank you for.
Thank you, Dula. And next we have Lobsang Sedin from SFT Bangalore chapter, who will share his view on the topic.
Toshitale to one and all. I'm Lobsang Sedin. I'm currently doing my master's in mass communication at St. Joseph's College, and I'm also the chapter director for students of Free Tibet Bangalore. So I was told to speak on the problems that are faced by Tibetan community in exile, and the problems that I have faced growing up as a Tibetan student in exile. And the one thing that struck in my mind was I was born and brought up in Nepal, did my studies there, and I've been in Bangalore for the last 4.5 years, almost 5 years. And I'm a 25-year-old, born and brought up in Nepal, and I don't have one document or an authentic document which says that I belong to that country, or which says that I am a refugee of that country. Why is that? Nepalese government in 1998 stopped issuing RC in Nepal, Tibetans inside Nepal. That means those who are born after 1998 and those who have not attained the age of 18 in that particular year were not issued RC. So that means people like me, my age, my friends, they don't have anything. I've been traveling every semester break. I visit my family in Nepal, and we have to cross this border. And once we cross this border, and since we are going inside Nepal, we have to answer the Nepalese security personnel, and they'll always say, okay, so you're a college student, and okay, show me your citizenship. Since you're born and brought up in Nepal, show me your citizenship. And I would say, okay, I don't have a citizenship, I'm a refugee in Nepal. Okay, then show me your refugee card. And I was like, okay, I don't have anything else to show. So I've been traveling Nepal and India for the last 4 years, only with my student ID card. That's it. I don't have any legal document which states that I'm a citizen of that country or a refugee of that country. So, and that's just one problem. When I first came to Bangalore to apply for my bachelor's, and I went to all these various colleges, and since I wasn't born and brought up in India, I was born and brought up in Nepal, and even though I was a refugee, I was considered, as Ketundula has pointed out, that many of the Tibetan students over here were given admission under a foreign quota. So I was fortunate enough to, I was fortunate enough to be from a stable family, to come here and study far away from home. But there are thousands of students in Nepal who are financially very poor and could not spend that much amount of money and register under a foreign quota and apply for degrees or masters in any colleges. Now, I think these problems are something very big, and we should face it. And one thing is, since my age students in Nepal, since they are not issued RC, most of them opt for Nepalese citizenship, paying huge amount of money, lakhs and lakhs of money, just to acquire Nepalese citizenship and get out of the country. They settle in US. So this is somehow breaking the community. There are a bunch of students my age. We were born and brought up together, and they have applied for Nepalese citizenship, and they have left Nepal. Now they're American, living somewhere in America, somehow breaking the community. And so I've been working with, I've been volunteering with SFT for the last 2 years, and we have this every month or so. We organize protests, or we go for peace march or candlelight vigil, and the police or the locals over here, as in, they don't understand the anguish that we have. we are labeled as so-called the troublemakers. Yeah, I agree. When we go for a peace march, we kind of create trouble, as in like the traffic signals and noise pollution and all this stuff. But they don't understand the anguish that we have, the anguish that we are born and brought up in exile, the anguish that we are born far away from our country, and the anguish that someone else is ruling your country. They don't understand it. And these are the kind of challenges that we faced in exile. And now this has happened recently. I think 6 to 7 Tibetan students born and brought up in Nepal who were doing their colleges in India went back to Nepal, and they were stopped at the border, and they said, show your citizenship or show your RC, and they don't have anything else to show. They don't have anything. They just have a student ID card. That's it. And they were told to pay some 8,000 rupees, and which they refused. And they were not. They were sent back. They were not allowed to enter Nepal. So they had to change the entire route and pass it through another border, which is like 800 to 900 kilometers from the border. So they have totally changed the route. So these are the problems that we have faced. I'm so sorry for not pointing out the problems for those who are born and brought up in India, because I'm not very familiar with it since I was born and brought up in Nepal, and the challenges that I had faced in Nepal. And there's one incident which is now we all know that Nepal is highly influenced by China, and China is pressurizing Nepal for to be strict on the Tibetans inside Nepal. So there's this one incident. One of my classmates, when I was in class 12 back in Nepal, one of my classmates, she was stopped right in the middle of the road by a few police because she was wearing a shirt which said "Free Tibet," and she was going for a protest. And the police stopped them, and they forced her to take off her shirt, and that's in the middle of the road. Imagine that's happening to you. Imagine if it ever happened to you. You are stopped in the middle of the road, forced to take off your shirt. That's your basic right. You can do whatever you want. You can wear. There's someone else judging what you should wear or not, what you should say or not. These are the problems that we have faced in Nepal, and so I think that's just it. And I'm sure that all the questions that I have in my mind will be answered by all the dignitaries that are present here, and I'll be left undoubted after this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Tadela. Now, I would like to leave this platform to participate, to share your views and problems, challenges that you have to take. So it's not necessary to ask in English, it can be in any language. Please, I'm sure you have lots of questions and views.
Hello, Interstellar to all. My name is Andrew Cherful, and I'm currently doing MSc in Computer Science. I'm staying outside, which is during the bachelor I stay here, so I don't have any problem from here, because every time in Tinula and all the staff members, they used to look after us. But after here, during the master time, since we are senior, on all many juniors are coming in to stay here. Since we know a little bit about how the locals and how the place are going over here, so we just shift outside to stay in a rented house. So during that time, there's a lot of problems, which every time we need to compromise, and compromise in the sense we have to pay. And even though I'm strongly against with the paying of the bribe or whatever that black money is, but sometimes we left with no option, because we don't know about the laws and regulations, how to follow this. One instance, I just want to note that thing. One instance, during the rent, we need to make an affidavit, right? The paper where both of us, we need to agree upon certain issues. In that issue, it's clearly mentioned that if we check out from the house, we have to inform before 2 months. Or even they need the house, they have to inform us before 2 months. So within 2 months we can adjust the outside. And also whitewashing, all those kind of things. A lot of issues are there, but I just want to put one there so I can understand after all. So after this, though it's 2 months, but one of my friends, they are just let those person just go out from their room within 2-3 days. They didn't give any permission. And since myself as a senior who is staying outside, they came to me and asked permission, asked how to fight for that. I went here and there, and I don't know how the procedures to go on, how to register that case, whether we should to go to police or whether we should to go to see a lawyer and consult anything. So can you please give us an insight on how to register a case which we are not satisfied, we want the justice. So through that, I think many of us will get a lot of information. Thank you very much.
If you don't have any questions, then we are going to pursue for the next section that will be talking on a registration certificate and identity certificate for Tibetans in India and kinds of cases in Tibetan exile community to be entertained by Tibetan Local and Supreme Justice Commission. So I now would like to invite Tibetan Local Justice Commissioner of Sozo Tibetan Settlement, Ms. Namjit Siki, to address the gathering on the topic. Please, ma'am.
정말 삼지듯이 라시에 고에 전쟁이 아이시 콜라리샤 Mansubi Pebela, Mansu Pebal, someone IC number passport authority. IC the color travel document in lieu of passport Nangure. This section Passport Act ki section 2 wall, section new the wall Nangure. Hindi Mansu Passport Act the apply to Passport Act Kita Shiri Katini Tango Mansu Samagi and Chinjabada lawyer, Mrs. Samagi, Sembanam Karilivore, landmark judgment, Menika Gandhi case did for Sembanana. Menika Gandhi case na khari chungbesina ani Menika Gandhi suimen number sang kingiwa Menika Gandhi ki passport di ani gyaga shungi passport authority ki Minister of External Affairs passport authority ki impound chire kapnyar chire and passport act namnola section mangu jure section new di passport entity section new ma section sumadi no person shall depart from India unless he holds a valid passport or travel document in theory. Passport che yamne travel document mena ani chilo do chogoma travel document di IC chelo anzu ina pebala dis khari chinang yo stateless ina anzu pebal zo khari re citizenship yo mego de na ani citizenship ina passport ti ro citizen tagarani shongdi ta anzu stateless in betoni ani travel document di IC nang yo section 3 nangola ani travel document IC ta yamene passport mena ani chigilo do chogo mares yaga nangol de ina ars dictu do yaga nangol yama joye jira right to reside details hai na right to ani freedom of movement nanglo yaga nanglo la do gi thop dang freedom of movement na khengi wa pasu joye gi that yaga ki constitution nangola article 19 la ani fundamental rights manguch teore fundamental rights khari ne thense manguch yore 19 nangola freedom of speech and expression right to personal life and liberty, freedom from association, freedom right to take part in public employment, equal opportunity. Article 14 la Constitution and equality before law and theory. Equality before law and king team begins the dynam Anzuki Pebe Chajin Yoa, Pebe Chajin Shingyoa, number 1991 la, Anzu Tibetan Charter and Tibetan Charter, the Kare Yaga Constitution of Shingansu de la Tibetan Charter, the Peba Chedo, and Pebegi Tim Chor, Tim the Ama, the Tibetan Charter, Tibetan Charter Nangola, and it becomes fundamental right Mambuchi or a fundamental right Nanglo Hire, right to life, personal liberty, the get somewhere, the Tibetan Charter, the Tenzin Chukchi Nangola Hare, and Lusok that Dewang, Lusok Lana, life, right to life, Dewang Lana, liberty, right to liberty, Lusok the Karwang with Dewang, Tanji Rawang, freedom of speech and expression, Taganashi, and the Saksho that Tude, the some the Dembetiagi, and Rawang, the fundamental rights Namola, Surtu, and Tenzin freedom of speech and expression, wall mind, but Surtu share. Taganashi, any Kare, any Shungi, any Legala, any Kokop Danyam Tonen this year. And Takanashi free legal aid, the fundamental rights have free legal aid Lana Kare come to Shutukapso and Timzebala make Timzebala, Gale free legal aid yours. Gano Takanashi Manzuki Pebe, Tibetan Charter Namole, free legal aid yours, Kuyanamala to game. Now Tandakari Shugido, many Gandhi case in Ba. Many Gandhi case na Kachire, passport the and Kunzik impound Chir, Kagnyar, the passport authority minister external affairs, Kagnyar Chini, and Munishna 1977 case, thinking about in a landmark judgment, the landmark case to be case the Keshamushu Shawar. 1977, the January La Kalichirana and Menega Gandhila and Yavagi and passport authority notice later. Notice now Kalare, and Kirangi, and we decide to means the passport tree, coming at means notice there. Notice can domination administrative order the Jargora grounds for refusal to give the passport jura. The grounds, the reason the day mare. Reason the matter notice the later. The passport act kiwala in the theory, passport act wall cut theory. Section 5 nala and section 5 application jawala mitiki kesi so passport gonare travel document kharine application thing on IC the form should jambiwa tagana re the form should jambi and pass section 5 to 2 na khala gore Ministry of External Affairs Passport Authority it may consider such application or consider chine and it may either grant or refuse to grant ra kisi tenere matinere kisi refuse to grant chene mati aina we have to give reasons in writing. Reason khari charging ding me on the tegores. Taya passport ke act na kharchyo na je macho grounds ke yore. Section khazuri jina specified yore. Je khari kharte mogoi yora. Je mogoi di section 6(2) na specified yore. Section 6(2) the and grounds of refusal mangojar. Grounds of refusal na khari yoresna any security of the state, friendly relation between two countries, Kyagada, China, Parula, relation to China. And it may either refuse to grant a passport or action within this friendly relation and security, the sovereignty of the state, sovereignty of the country, the sovereignty, these and passport and finally, public interest. Section 6 number 1, 2, 3, 4 ABCD H in the interest, in the public interest. That is okay when Vidani Deja did Chedoni, Chiso Kevin and Digina Ania, the Chichores, lower passport refused Chichores, refused here the and Manika Gandhi case Karigare, Mala and passport temasons, impound chisons, and a case in Amo Karigare, and equality before law, Article 14 violates chisons, the word equality before law. And equality before law, and Tangi Kondishis, Tim Gidinsa Danyam, and Kare, no discrimination on grounds of sex, color, grade, background, religion, etc. etc. Ding on the Pebble, Hana, Pebe chatting away, Hana, Tim within said Danyami Logo. Keo, Rick, Chulu, Kain, Yeme, Tony, Tim within said Danyami is lower equality before law. Yeme, Halo, equality before law, equality in equal circumstances, not in unequal circumstances. Equal circumstances, can I chipa Niga documents, how much equal enough? nga dil deny chi dil accept china te equal circumstances gorwadi equality before law order not in unequal circumstances kensa ta Menika Gandhi khala gore equality before law chasun wallet chasun article 19 ki fundamental rights yora digedi freedom of movement ki khale li gore freedom of movement lana ani di draw on gi thokdana freedom of movement lana khari tenzin dilang khari dishi galasina right of locomotion and to travel abroad. This is need dishi gal. Ta di tenzin khangi walli borlana nima karak sim case ledger. Karak sim case nam khare personal liberty led war. Personal liberty lana ani ya restraint che me yo jora physical restraint che na di khati chore due process thoni chi war. And in due process, Article 21 law, no one shall be deprived of his personal life and liberty without due process of law. Without due process of law, your fundamental right, your freedom of movement, your freedom of speech and expression, your freedom, your limitation, your 세가 video back for freedom movement nana kha fasa doya dinde yo mare freedom movement re la ni suni ji ya ji do ma ji do ya ji do freedom movement re la ni phage ni chwa ji shing shemba ji sa cha na trespass chi freedom movement re la ni ji ke meeting da kha fasa la du zune ni indi chi yo mare freedom movement sa khade limitation yo res la wor limitation di ani passport kan la ina limitation di khare ground specified ground mai baje kya any chichoko mara passport act nangola stated law radi dinangola khari chinde refuse chichorela di nansi thana passport act passport law ledi with IC gangla chipa samtang hasna IC passport act gola take your section 2 gola take passport ki ground refusal ladi and travel document te chipa do chaswa hasna na dinangola khana it can refuse to grant travel document or passport la on these grounds la Menika Gandhi khari chire and sumba dili khare Article 21 violate chisona tha Article 21 lana number lamsa constitution ta dumara Article 21 nan khare fundamental right digedi changmal sera yore de digedi ka chores la ka ya di khadi chore due process of law khare due process of law lana khare sa due process law like stated law yore natural justice law stated law lana law there na di yorwa act quran law quran our stated law due process of law and natural justice joa di lagona that natural justice lama khara hai matlab administrative order ji pass chiaina and dinanglola gyaga nanglola legal term khara order orderum pardon nagor order pardon nan khara right to be heard na khara khansula ani detail order ji pass ma ji khonye na order ji hok tu nam to yaw na shi pass chiya mare ji kharan di passport the IC toy like the passport they have to give you a notice right notice will give reason why your passport or travel document should not be impounded or withheld or refused right and they give reason though into the ugadi the Menika Gandhi la or the order pattern natural justice follow machi vache hop kala Menika Gandhi la order le administrative order le Menika Gandhi ki di violative chhabi ore la khari violative chhala murangi article 21 di violate chha sunos la natural justice follow chima sunos la and then in the court la di court ki any khunzula ministry of external affairs la order teni and khanan zu ni di those and the passport phalo US in order le right those khadini ini di namlola anisi shembaji manguda yore ta manzu khari shebore freedom of fundamental rights sangmala thega bewache ani di ini natural justice follow chibo res khadini di manzu rishipena chashna IC apply chidi khande chigursina IC apply chidi travel document chidi thangbo khare shijala doni shijali sani gunjindila nishu gyagor sani gunzi nishu gyala handi gyagore susu chimi gyuni gyagor susu cam ke di nanglo ina resident proof lengwa resident proof di handi styong gore chimi le nishu gyap chimi di khalegre ani khura kem digi khangle digi di nanglo de ore khura pala di dire ani di khura IC chi soe ki chedon gyamni di gor and resident proof che and gyamni chagor ta kisi sani gunzi ki order chile wache shop kala sani gunzi nishu gyal da khana ni ga nishu gyal nishu gyamne khana ki IC de exit chile khana IC exit chio mar kashak da khari ni bachash exit insali gunzi ki detail mare administrative order chi pass chile khana la Kirangi ICT means Kirangi Rocho means an order passina and Tani Medical Gandhi case the Ramsan Stemlangani Hare or the order Palram Temasus right to be heard Temasus opportunity Temasus opportunity Harichido Yumze Ra, teach the Marata voice, the can order the not those order the past Chamaris and you refute the allegation. Ra, any amended courage in the Yumzeshi here to do, the order the natural justice follow Martina, and instead of order in the constitutional order of Harine in Yongi, Manzupebe in Anglota, and the IC did Manzuki. Legum unit gora ICD Hani Tango Hani Guntura Sani Gunzi unit word in a Kasha or Tangiva Kasha ni Ditivore, Gamish Tivore, Taniga IC procedure in native Shura IC Tango Hani Shura Senara Manzo Belubi Digi and a Belubi Digilas Digilas Sani Gunzi Lani Shupir Sani Gunzi Gamiche, Chimi Gamiche, resident proof chair, Ramsey Ladeche, and Yamti no due certificate came Buddha, Yamdini. And then date of birth proof share school certificate, Yamina birth certificate, Yamina, and affidavit. Affidavit Kadure to get the certificate, school certificate, the birth certificate, Mena. And in the March, low game was in 1959 and KO, the 1960 KO in Dina, Kusala the mayor, Young Sigra, birth certificate, Penal in Dina, cut the affidavits to the Ding the Parni chair and they get the Hotangore, Kasha Tango. Kasha, the by post Tangi, Zambala Kasha and Kadishu, Takasha and Kadishu Kashagi. And Katu Gishnandra, and Shine, and set, Tangi set, the Chicoty said, Young Josunian, Bureau Office the Tango. Did you cut the application form? The application form, the Tangi Nishu Devia, Passport Act to Aladin, and Shinchavures. Takashaki, Gamyamata, Shishtakara, the Karachigil Tangi Mess, Chigal Roshames, Indicative Chiana, to get the Samadi Chaswa, administrative order Chaswa, and Pebe Nangola. On the Pebe Nangola, on the Pebeki, Nango Jajimura. Tibetan Charter, Tibetan Constitution, Rata Gavina, the Tibetan Charter, number fundamental rights, Mambuja, fundamental rights, Tambudakare, Lusok, the Karwang, Devangana, liberty, the liberty Nangola, the Subor, Gavalina, and Dong, freedom of movement, liberty, and Suborina, and Supebeki Chatin and Kaire, Lusok, Devang, Karwang, right to property, the Karwang, the Gala constitutional right to property, constitution, and the fundamental right now, and fundamental right Nangola, Karwang, Devang, Lusok, Ani Tamji Rawang, Ani Saksho, the Dembel Rawang, Ani Kariore, Ani free legal aid, Ani Dikare, Timseba Mena, Lami Timseba Laya Chedior, Ani Kariore, and yes, Ani fundamental right, the infringe charge, no violent charge, no gay original, Ani Yagal in the writ petition Gachoviva. Yagi fundamental right Chisna and Nye fundamental right the violate Chasuna read petition judge or High Court Supreme Court. Read petition and Daniel Tatunda Hala or Nye top down trust no law, type read petition and a Chimbudos die into top down trust no top down the and Zingyong Gizing Tonere, Zingyong Kasha Tonere, and Yavaina administrative Chigita and government of the Subtoy Dilla, read petition Gabore, Dinamsing and Suri Dinamole, Pebeki Dinamole, Mansuchimgang, Chiluang Zinamole, Kisi fundamental right the lady, Mansu judging wall station, top down the lady, and Kisi Tro original and gay original and top fundamental rights, she did top down Lata language, the enforcement check, Lata language to Dengi Picho, Dengi and read petition, Dengi, Tadamanzu, around Hojo, Gitimshi by Dinga, Balukubi, Tinga, Hojo Young, Gitimani, Balukubi, the Kamba Mao, Jerekim New again, so damn, they do the Madly and never come to Nichung, come to Chiki, Dengi, read petition, Dengira, Karichidore, Rangi, she did top down Lata language to Dengi Spureta. Manzu Pebale di Chung Yores Chueba. That Manzuki did not she said top down the Gasna, read petition pitch over Manzu Pebala, Dengi pitch over. Java in High Court Dora, and Manzudela, Hocho Young Latin Ganting Machine Dinalola, and read petition the pitch over Chueba. That Manzu call is I see number. I see the Tangubasha in Tenzin, the Punicasha, Yamiraji, Bureau Office, and Bureau Office key, any Bureau Office like him to come in Mujitong Gajik, the Tango, or him to do the Tango, or the affidavit original, RC, Kasha, the original, the passport, pass through, and the Tangu, any Bureau Office acknowledgement report leaded. In not reported which are doubt to no really police inquiry lady and you ask it I am part of or any of the witness meeting chipuda and then Hojo number in and Hoji Union Hoji Kumjana to Jikuda, those chin and I said Ravajila travel approach here, Chigel to H. I see the PH. I see Nalola. I see now date of birth you get and court report Koda to say court report Koda. I see Kaji, I see damage Hasnara. The Bureau of the website now, download session. I see fresh shoe not hanging on the shoes why you said it boy or computer number website www.bureauoffice.carabida.org. I see change of name means you get in I see Namola and I see Gnima Kariyabadi and setting copies attested chi and passport parniga and advertisement newspaper now one national and one local newspaper now advertisement chi and original deed code affidavit and dine khachure bureau office latina bureau office chiga RC lost case na and khachure FIR lodge police la FIR lodge chidang and jail FIR lodge chidang lelo the application se injithone application se third fish FIR copy chigile dijala and FIR chisajala affidavit so court affidavit passport size ni che and IC khaji copy if available the copy IC line copy application form IC lost case IC raise IC damage IC damage original damage the chatyo jora belina IC me bardoda IC raise IC now chubulsar to look chubulsar the chasira IC damage has na any this application job and damage condition so IC to look in chubulsar reason the T and in affidavit to say and in the passport 3 passport size sikar and yamdo functional divorce IC and in I see Namola Tower in Batingela, monk to layman, and the tower in Bachejelaya, Mika Chagua, I see Namola Park, Tower Parta, and Tower with the Kedi, and here the application to Yabure, the Anima original IC Jura, the Tang, and Yamdo RC copy Tamudan, Partang, and Gombani to go, the Yama Tower, the Tower Lores, Ram in addition to I see for those. Bebe timga nanglola kamju khande khande le chores mansu yaga nanglola timga khingi wa thamala yaga ki court la khariore thango dela ani session da district court yora mashu dela dine ki mala high court yore dine supreme court yora mansu bega nanglola khariore thongma dela ani sani timshikang yor sani timshikang and Sani Timshikang, Rojo Yonga Sani Timshikang, the Langlola, Kapon Karikariore, Baluko be Digilas, Baluko be Luxum, Hunsu, Rakeling, Collegal, Tendeling, Monko, Dubiling, Bangalore, and Niejar, and these two, Bandara, Yora, Hojo Bulchu, Bandara, no killing ledger, Yora, Bandara King, Hojo Bulchu, Renima Yomare, and Bandara, and Bangalore, Uti, Goa, Pondicherry, Nasik, Mumbai, Digisanika, Chungi, Di Hojo Water, Di Tangola, Pevani, Palanyoka Shumsna, Manzugi Tingon Capsewale or Pevani Parada in Tinji, Pevatic the Yagaji Palena, and Manzugi jurisdiction de Goma, Tingon Capsi de Goma, Taganishi criminal case in Manzutingon Capsi de Goma, law of the land applies for law of the land, criminal case in a law of the land in which Gagal sovereignty, Gagal sovereignty, the gate or once a criminal case handled in the coin, Gagal sovereignty, or the parallel judiciary Chaduda, the civil case. Only civil case to go machine and the legal mares level. That we see paper to the Yagaj Nayuma, so paper court order Tanash Yagag is an Indian citizen to like paper court order Tana, code the Umara, order the Chagomara, Yagag court order Chagi, called Indian citizen in the Chagiomare, Mount Chagioma, Taganishin and the paper chin Namokanchi Lana application of this law, paper law, your Tibetan charter, your Charter and Habuya, Pebagi Constitution, the Tibetan Charter, the Anashi, Pebegi Sani Timshikang, Chimangu, Chimang to share Lana in civil procedure court, law of evidence, Lana, Pangachini, Hanish Court of Judiciary, and in the Ganashi land loss, your answer, the Pebegi Sahantishi land loss, and the Gay Courage, it applies to Tibetans, Pebagi, and 배바 가래 배미 딕소당 대마봉서 배미 찌개를 영화 켜봐이는 배미 딕소라나 아니 하고야 배배기 슝데 공디게디라 아니 배미 딕소 가가에 배르고 배 야간 어리어가이네베 아니 지게 롱바 잉글랜드 스위저랜드 가가에 가가 롱바 망고려 오피스 지간 네게 상황 켜고 내가 또 배미라나 니냐 와를 켜고말이요 배바 상황 켜고요 그래서 야간 켜고요 말이라고 아니 먼저 케이스 간데 레이초르스나 아니 단기 공도 쉬스와 짜진 나로라 아니 시제 톱당이 그도와 시제 톱당은 야간의 fundamental rights라 되게 상막이 되게 나로라 아니 그디 중원이나 초기의 중원이나 되게 아니 셴바 톱당 초원이나 진경 초원이나 간다 직 중스나 아니 디 짜진다 interpretation of charter Tibetan charter 야간의 interpretation of constitutional case interpretation of Constitution ra din also gi phebaina judging gi percentage shejona debege selling dige bigina ani also gi chungong capse wal yores phebege ting walina an tagana shi team the dishi dige the karin toni deje shiane ni also lewo team the dishi dan karireda team mango yore phebege judging the team amara judging the constitution judging the charter dira tagana shi ani jiksa hang gi team yore tagana shi yutu gi team yore tagana shi ani 망고 열팀 이제 덴볼 행강 팀 망고 열 비미기 직속이 레지에서의 팀 가봐요. 근데 당시 아니야 먼저기 팀 이게 되라 대가는 시 게임 나로리나 팀이다 아니 산에 뒤속 세베 딕시다 팀 람다 녹세 망고도 게임 나로를 람룩 망고도 녹세 게임 기침이기 아니 가르쳐도 पंचायत 루처도 게임 지미디 아니 पंचायत 게 망고지 rules and regulation 망고도 다가는 customary law and customs 망고도 아니 로 망고지 follow 치되게 consistently follow 치나 custom 차르다 custom the backward binding nature 이 사람이 follow 치되는 가차도 오래 아니 customary law 디 아니 it gets 디 가르쳐 오래 아니 law 기 아니 status letter 치고 레 디 치고 recognition citizen bala law 기 디 인디다 게임 기침이 딕시지니 더러 딕시지 그 와일렛 치네레 디 딕시지 탄달라 그 텐젠지 중원이야 다리 중에 디야 먼저 배배 팀강 와라 팀공 탑세 와 수도고레스 다간시 배미 치데게 배미 게 펜트니 바라다 인고 총스 다간시 사한 레레 명가이나 먼저 그 배배기 슝기 배미 딕수 고디체데 사한지와 게임 나무 지요아 강항제 아니 게임 가레 문제 순주소 두다 문제 이슈를 직접도 아니면 미상만 항항라니 딕시죠 디코라 상한 딕시고 가가 딘디 상한 베데베 용로 총스나 만주기 디상을 보고레스 베미기 팀공 캡세와 만주기 팀공 캡세와 보고레스 다가는 시 베미게 핀들 지소 대자도 되는 용바나 베베 지소 나로 peace and tranquility 토리아게 니까 용바제 총스나 안디 만주기 팀공 캡세와 보고레스라 jaga nanglo inara ani benesna peace and tranquility ne ji hate speech public hate speech ni te wachesh ra nima case godra case la jike khare sure Rahul Gandhi na ji hate speech te ren ji yo and sabab lo da de do ina ani ya thebe nang sing am ji 지소 나로레 지소 대자 쪽이야기 미지기 디치오 체 까메지 나오시 스테다 땅다 다리나 지 가리네 같이 군소 지소 대자 쪽이야기 딱 가리네 용식라 시 치오 치루기 어제 지체야도다 아니 까메 헤이트 스피치 din 나오나 public peace and tranquility 노야들도 근데 이나 지소 대자 쪽스는 디 jurisdiction 디 가래 jurisdiction은 통공 캡세디 저기 호조스네 팀시카데 다가는 신체 팀시카래 요레스라 도스 아니 지소 대자 차 get pinzin par ani shungi leji ki nyongda chungna ang manzu walde go shungi leji jiglani malala ja pare che indulaya da mala chike promotion raya che indulaya de je yora ati khebe ina manzu le chuo res tu shue ba ta manzu isani timshi khangla kyap chingbo walma chu ma chu gyo ji khare che de timshi khang pa le de redu dikshi le redu ki nyongda chungsna ani election la ya do jina benachina ani chike jigi redu ne sani tuso redu ina khanne redu chike ani he changa 다 가리네도 election dispute 총스나 한 체대 침식한 거 맛이 산에 침식한 개봉 와도요 마딘수 케이스 친구라 감주 네체 감주 되게디 예바도 체대 침식한 거 보고 그래서 다가는시 안 진경이 바로 용다 그다 산에 와 용다이나 예바도 Chedi Timshin on the Yaga Union and State between two states in the Governor to High Court, the Supreme Court, the machine, Supreme Court, the Chedi Timshin Mashi, any Sunny Timshin on the Tamazu Chedi, Zulagi, Timu, Zingi, any come to Lemo Cho, the Kare, Nani, criminal casing on Zuzani bench, criminal case, and in Yabatu, Yaga Court, the Ray, Yaga, the sovereign today, Yaga, those churches. Manzu, Chedi Timshin on the corner, Meverda, Yagalina, Supreme Court, Toshirwa, Supreme Court, Lepo, Yomara, Yaga, Tagalish, Manzu, Pevich, Angola, Tibetan Supreme Justice Commission, the any beach award, appellate, any. Toshi di che ani court of last resort na sarto gi shuduk chayudi chede chimchi kang chali yore sidu shuye ba ka kama di khali shure IC che travel document che dega na ni tachina
Thank you so much for your comprehensive understanding and explanation. Yes, I'm sure we Tibetans have different kinds of problems in terms of RC, IC, and written visa, exit permission. And I think that we have a wonderful opportunity to clarify and give the solution right now. And I hope the participant will take an opportunity to solve your doubt and clarify your doubt. Please, if you have any question, please raise your question.
Once again, test the door. And last time this my friends called. This is my problem. Last time we had a meeting over here, Tibetan Scientific Committee, and during that time, many of the participants who is doing in their final MS, final masters, they are interested to give the NET, National Eligibility Test. But even I also interested in that field, and when I consult with my senior, many of my senior, it seems they didn't appear for that test out of fear that they are not eligible to give the test for national eligibility test, because they were telling that we were all those NET test givers are supposed to be the citizen of the state, and since we are not citizens, either in refugee or that. Foreigners, so there's a big, huge confusion, and it will be really helpful if we know the information from the experts. And my second doubt is that since myself is doing in software field, if I suppose develop in software and I wish to do a patent law to make it patent, so that it should be come through me. I also had the pleasure. So that's what I really wish to know about how to make your software or your idea patent, make it patent. And thank you very much.
Hello. Patent patent form patent form so the idea the member copy chido member sawa so innovative patent patent application form patent patent sawa idea sawa
national level, international level patent.
Patent law patent law intellectual property at the level patent search in can patent the sour rhythm the plans check here in the series and Gama law apply to the Gama law apply to the international the suitable some of them.
Thank you. And then next speaker we have Tibetan Local Justice Commission of North Region, Mr. Dunula. Please welcome.
아무리 세션식 주에는 근데 주어시 카슬링도 디 만주기 또 제래 만주기 저도서 기에 가시는 만주 로 스터디 지기에 만주 로 패턴 로스나니 나 스터디 지오스 패턴 로 마스터디 제라에 말와 for example 데이도 말와 로 디리디 크리면 주어도 꾸이나 만주기 비스 디스커시 저도시 하는 만주 제일 랭겨나 레디 야가 우리 삼제 디기 돈이 만주 디스 홀 지바이 디 coordinates san solution chiki wa trin mat da deretun da yobe ki sane chimshi kan jisu sha di sane chimshi sha de re ane mal ke je she di anda rc gan ke je she chek che ane dene manzu ki chenju permit tiksu ki timu won zin ko la bis so che so do jedamba 당고대니 RCD 기부시라 시기베 사실은 RC 돌았다 되는 영예 참마 콜리스 도 동에 이모사 칼랑점 대간스 로시 신퇴지 다나신 강에 대선 캔스 팀 말에 강에 무에 주술의 티어스나 망아디 페니빙에서도 담살라 큐리 중에서 티어와 저니 딜로 투지 디스 비스트시 비와 디트시 마게 오늘은 카리스페스나 지단 팀 내주로 로 레디 장괴디 계승부인 것들은 this introduction this shunasam steam 말이기 섬주 디나로라 클래스디나로 팽에 디나로 로 and the study 중에 가수의 차시된 게 오케이 되기도 예 선노다 가리던 것이나 팀 내주로 로 내주로 로 레디 강사 순자신비네 아주 배발도 차셔나 배미 여도 총원이 팀레디 장기디 시라기 낸거 청결해 팀레디 인지민지 팀기 토네 소화경이 와디 팀기 토네 프로페셔널스니 디지포 팀디 장기 낸거 책이 요 말했어 와 수신 곳을 삼바 팀 쓰담바 대기 던다 디나는 부지기 적기로 강바이야 백값라 강바나는 대백값라 에그리먼트 agreement shasa jine ani dig agreement de zosaje dawani di nang notice te buguires wa notice mate mula mati vaina kharichi gores komba thambu kharikyo procedure steps kharlembo lejoro chedu tamba team lai tamba manzo khala dogudu manzo kharichi gudu manzo kharisa gudu manzo khala thama tung churwe manzo khala thama tung chur mare manzo lung khari gamgi yore 만족 가와 되기에 뜻차성 용조 팀도 되었으면 제가 딘딘이는 바 니리 만족이 데이투데이 나나 팀십의 돈이 랭게지와 제와인바나 디기 미지 디기 강사 미치기 미지기 변화되면 책이 와 땅아주 배발도 수키와 있나 팀 삼바한다 전주 지수나 여기서 팀 장과 강보 하리자나 호스트 컨트리기 팀도 장고로 야가기 팀디 만족이 컨스티튜션의 지배기 다자는 팀이한테 신디 시작이 내가래 계속 보내 디 가랑 만족이 이와서 그랬나 만족 permission 배찬에 양마란 속이 대 전주 비밀 지수지 sabt나야래 디 나노라 예배기 차례 남조 디 나노라 팀들이 가리여래 자타에 마치베 돈에 팀들이 가리여래 디아신 거야 내가 생각해 디 돈에 따뜻한게 sab정도 디 추고 돈에 시다기 데마스 내무심 부차들이 프랑스기 데지 개인심 부키거든 만족은 나주 와 슈구예직 차기를 와 캐나스 슈게스 더 페벨 인베스네 다 미세기 두지 차기를 와 가이스나 딘디 촉바 NGO 페베기 미릭 마잉의 NGO 휴먼 라이츠 로 네트워크 딘데치기 신고 제베 토니 페버스라 딘데기 사종 피드 삼바 와 완전 원리 슉시 마게나 딩마와 되게 준비를 송바와 준비 송도 empower 와 내는 배준지 쇼 마치도 침식하는 내가 지대에 값라 와 중시나 나 드디 남길에 요마레 나다한테 진지도 질러다 만고다 쿠쇼시 그런 로예리 완전히 팀가나로 진짜 나 educate enroll in the son상이 드레스한 괜찮니 이 배숑디 감주 가가기 팀가나로 여 디가 나주기 local lawyers 만주셔요 와 디기 토네 나주피 나 팀가로 저비가서 나 experience 좀 experience 이 캔시어나 티스는 것도 가리셔스나 딘디기 막 풀다 돌로시선 그래로 black coat black t-shirt white shirt 안 차선 그래도 되다 봐 니수들라 야가기 빨라스가 암나시도 그런 얘기 말에 양시 따지셔 디타 데고스 고rum랑도 가면나 주 말에 와 저시 간에 되면 가면나 주 말. 디제는 아주 수제기 파생당. 수제 파생당다 암나다 빨라지 말라. 아니 걔는 배배인데서. 아니 배배인. 아니 가리나서 쉬는 봐. 가리나서 쉬던 봐. 아니 빨라만데 가시나. 나 키는 쉬우 가슴사. 이게 그냥 가신 가수 나 배배인 나오다 그냥 가고 이제 가리를 해. 계시 주던 봐. 아 코라인 가리시었나. 나 차원 완전히 패밀리니 빨라 암라 완전히 브로더 지사 차원 지사디 다람살라 차원 제바이스 완전히 차원 지세 달로 데데레스 데데레시 가리토스나 베베기 3 generations 미도 숨탄다 통송 사람 나와 와 미도 숨 디기 베베기 짜준 된다라 베베 탑저도라 레기 담이 나서 비기도스 개밀라 카데자나 와 드레나 미세 가고 윤제 카리스나 캐런다 캐런로바디 돈데 로조야 고치지 안 드링데 수수기 개그 구섭치지 인디시 리프레젠트 지도와 제대로만 개미라 카디자 구이나 먼저 모조시 개미들이 카디자 되어버려 요 말이스 개미라 카디자야라 캐런도 베베기 신경서 로조시니 로좀 제베도니 인텔렉츄얼 망보스테베 토니 카디자 도르 들으송도 저는 이 코란케스테 그냥 가을 주고였어 코란소에서 구주숨 감사 팬이면나 구주숨에서 사제기 마스터 되기였습니다. 제가 미릭 셰버치기와 만주의 페베스기 부스 로좀 지쇼하 콘서시에 대바 지쇼하 사메기 레바치기나 먼저 다스 네팅과 와 제가 봤다 드리디 구급들레 베토네 아니 도다 라니 수수문에 드링조디 로드 저이든바 로좀체 리더 샤도 쇼로 로좀 시 여도 쇼로 믹스가 도나치시 엄마는 거라다 지 인텔렉츄얼 체다된바 와 디딜레도에라 대전한 구도와 단다가사 단데가사 디기 미조직 와 켈레바 와 로추니시 나놀라 와 프로페셔널스 망부슈 되기 리기비게 와 제가 디디도다 단다 캔슬 로좀 치다 모든 계산가 될라 가시실라 그러면시 신경 가서 로좀 시다야 못난 게도 와 만족을 좀 제발에 싫어져요 말. 만족을 제와치 하는 것도 캔슬 시켜야 봐. 만족 exile 레체 53 years 조사. 봐. 니기 나이 대문에 가리셔스나 롱마중 마손디 조바레스. 만족 미도 강마 오늘 제바서 꿀레 동나디 괜찮지. 단단 만족 진짜 주존나다. 조경물음 시투시 같은데 진짜 주존나도 타로게 봐. 튕기 강주성 약하지 차대 봐. 단 나중에 숨 들려지니 다 신경속이 bomba가 독지 친구 쇼슬린 거로 제가 드리스나 되나로나 신경 몸보 쇼스도와 제가 다나시 신경속이 그 구두 담바 와게 쇼지 친구예요 자 디송사 안 롭종시에 시작이 내가 팀이네레 랑소속이 롭세 칼저는 디도 타시바 장퇴 지원나 안 empower 데 친구와 인데 집에 돈에 먼저 랑소속이 이제 채도 된바 소수의 로드 제거도 소수민지 약을 차비 토안에 지도라 상대슈도와 지도라 샤우슈 토안에 아무도 기급 와 도체 좀 받지 도태요 레스 제가 데데 돈에 안드린 또 팀 넘버 안드린 돈에 팀디 장애디 팀기 토안에 미지킹이 직보기 말이에스 아주 참여니 팀 시험을 지스 장로 지스 와 얘들의 뼈지 샴바직 쇼로 와 니토보지 계산 지기를 줘래 와 지게를 줘값라 this mountain law. You propose business you in the war. Korachi authority, Chigi Lumba to see me. Korachi don't cookie letter, Tumbo Crutches, Nakura Gagani Pachigil to it, then kiss away. In a Korachi, Matromola Casana, Chigi Lumba to Sajora, dig team dead jungle. Chigide, dear junk, dear John Sajero, Korach Pachigil live. Chigil letter, Janatakugi, Pig, the team be Palazan Pushensa. Shin Satama and Pila Cookie capture you, Gosla, Korana, you check the Shura, Mishamba, Luchu, do not go sell from logic the second home. Cousin Rana, Cookie Gaka Pig, the team the jam, Jamatoni, that Namjo Pejotan, and the Detoni, capture Shibatoni, Korangi is in Mangla, and capture the Rateo, Gopo, the little Tashi in the Yuri, Dagana Sing and Jahana Davidos. Chimda Diocho, and I can stay Kessan and Higiri. Iman was painting not the David of the Correction was not. Police Yonche, Gondat and a pass the driver of the police can try to say, I'm here kitchen. Dig of the position, dig of the police kitchen and shape a chair, Mari. So, police that joke owns it for years. Manzuki police like Lamia or a Tixubo Lata, Lamia to the Tunjulan Sarinu. Lamia is a Hasabo to the Langabina, dear. The Ganashi chances Gesan is 10 children Chibana, Kawachimba, Lonita Chimba, Kawachimba. Dig of so Lonita Chibana, Lonita Chimbeki, ticket, Ting nearby to Nanga, Joshua to Supona, Yalo. This child only get the police kitchen Tiwana, and get the ticket to Mana, Karakang Tarsar. Dimebana and Linke, says the Kamitima. Then a Chunza the Mambo Shuri. That she done the Zero, the Chile, Educate Kuran, the Mama to City. So said that. Yuna, you never choke choke this silly door. Yagana the hero. Yagana to take it to do like my Yagana Salonche, Niki, Yagaki, she's in your Sumswa, Nieto Bujiri. Nieto Budi Carissa, like Gana Salonche, Gana Salonche, the Koran, Nikatine Caricious, Gaki chance. Manzo Desa, the Lopchonchisa, Sayasman of the data does years. Taki Masana Kandis, Gaki chance, Dick to the Master Masala, Digiri, Gaki, Masana, Dick to some shitty. Nimachi Kolakani has no cookie, Kutung guitarish. Kutunda Leni Tabuzanga Dora, Samusanga Suri Kara. Uncle Kuduzanga Mal Dodua, Ani Changa to Samba, Paya, lashing over. Paya, ye chorus lamas. What to say? Yentala indicate missing your mother. He has started to begin the Kutung is the one in the Hero. Uncle Paya, ye chorus lamas. Then you do a murder. And it did not have Turkish Russian. And that's to be held at all. Nay, that's to be a beast with their business. Kissing over Chipachi Yankees and Nitu, need to penny chisle. Edition of the Nitu Kisa Leche and Koran that should be given Zula taxi to it. Koran India was a single. Uncle taxi large, taxi Gedishiro, and taxi more hazardous the number, and taxi guard, taxi to the packing door. And it called the dishes, woman yes, wrong. 아니 예주주다 고생님도지기 암지하고 많이 해서 아니 도서도 나와 아니 양치버시냐 도서 내가 도서 빠사스가 도서 빠사스가 있어 저도 데이터냐 지금 아주 자가들이 가슴이 쳐봐요 자가 다 메시지 드셔봐 드세 주주 주고래 내가 맞나 양 얘기도 삼았나 양도 다 간다 얘기들이 모두들은 가리셔스나 팀내디 장외디 모두 상막이 장투나 신투나 라수직이 미절에 펜투기를 지소 유와 당연히 펜투기를 계급을 투배수비게 해야지야 펜투기를 다가나신 만족에 다다 전주 지소에 배찬이 다다 맛 내가 제디피 내려주는 내가 지게로 와 만주 내가 치던 방 만주야 내가 집에 값을 양 말아서 에틱스 디톤에 간다 칠레를 나온 나신 만주 지추 말에 이번에 만주기 다렉션 먹고 땡겨래 배는 가도 사실나 산에 본지기 세워 주는 것도 산에 칼라 사진 욕다 산에 칼라 지금 데데기다 추기 땡기 욕다 데데기 돈은 삼제 초 카와 먹고 조인 그래 디 조베 값랑 만주기로 Ungesu ngazu ma ground la ma chi chang zo ba chi dwe yo ma re ine ma direction ti gure wa di te to ne tanda pa do de gi to ne mang pen to ne jus wa pen na lo je chim long jang wa da na si ka da ni ma chi de chim si kan de ga la one chang ne gi ngazu pe ba zo wa tanda ni di je la si kharsna keza no zo ki she de legal awareness le jo chi chi ni ba de kam ju chu ba da shenan kam ju na na pu cha yo ma re 나쁘 가져있으나 걔는 타마대로 공개다 걔는 나쁘 레두스나 파이널 저지먼트 따는 것도 디보도 감추수 버지 나쁘 말와 와 되게 삼로 신앙식도 표준지잖아 얘마 다른사람 그딱 사자랑 민도 다다 내면 디가스라 모다지 답해줘 모다 답해주는 것도 세바주신 것도 파도가 모다 답해가스라 페바되게 논지치 감도 파주기 오포넨트 다 니가서 코로나 익자 갖고 지금도 모다 당처에 나게임도 모다 뒤에 진다게 되셔 다음에 먼저 페퍼티 깡고 차지 다 먼저 갈라스나 감지 잡스 잡아들 감지 잡아이나 계란 토에 냥지레스 계란 갑든 세션 라기레 레스나 먼저 페퍼를 뜬 것을 생각 상무가 소소 경험하는 깡고 차들 다도 가들 바로 빠시 감지 개미센트 아니 내도는 감지 개 쓴다서 배준지 샤나 다도 오늘 장선으로도 다도 파주도 거 코닝지를 근데시 인데 남게도 제가 딱든지 달링클릭 따는 거 유어도 우도 와 되게 눈에 숨거라 유어도에 와 어디 대도래야 중자지 배준 샤나 내 책이 와 형이 문에 시에도 장가지를 시다 다더니 얘기 문에기 시에 아시가 그래 저는 얘 되게 뭐는 못 주시거리 아시 돌아가 뭐 보시네 그래서 딱 캔서서 아시요 아시요 찍고 지고 말 되게 주들래 그래서나 먼저 배워서 이 자가나를 되게 그래 이내 먼저 refugee status 기 말에 먼저 stateless 생겨래 refugee 가슴 저기 요마스나 와 UN Convention on Status of Refugee in 1951 da and the Protocol 1967 dela party mare jaga wa di membe kangla jaga nanglo la refugee law kola national law yo mare wa di tone manzo paper so jaga na dine dunzo khari chegusna foreigner chigur wa di tone manzo ki RCD Foreigners Act wa 아니 registration of certificate 디 토네 foreigners act 토네 아니 만존네가 갸가나라 대초에 와 레가 지초에 사사동동 지초에 강다 아이덴티티스 기 된다라 만존라 RCD 남게 와 양식이로 와 이제 다드네 RCD 나에비 니동 송근물라 데라 캐테고리 망보에 long term stay, short term stay, then you are Mambuja, Tanzonga, Shifter to me. Nidon Sum, 2003, 31st October, Karishasna, set leisure. Special entry permit. This is Penal new arrival in nature. Consular 2003, Karikan Chigosna, set leisure. Special entry permit. This contest was not taken to do the Biscuit as well. In this period, Penal pay. 파일수 조베 가슬라 콘슬라 다란테 디나로 옵션 수미르 와 치카스나 네고 필그리메지 와 니바디 에듀케이션 숨바디 아더스 와 아더스 시란난기요 말에 대바라 망아디 롭종다 네고 난겨 제도 봐 네고 총진디 단다 탭가우스 난겨 와이트 페이퍼스 난거 디나로 디 치바이베 다 키란소 시바이나 키란소 야 페닐레에서 야마 람드 체키어니 비스나와 제가 디돈의 파일기 파일기 내내 칸에 디 폼쇼디 강부터네 아니 에듀케이션 야메나 네고라 초신 때나 콘지 딕다기네 네고 용에디 가르스나 네고 용체 네고 두즈시 더와지 더니 더숨디네 초신지 디타서 제가 콘소파 로그 직직 양메나 네고 더와지 초신 제와체 데네 네고 데마 자나로 꼼 하잖아 extension 네고ski 다 초신지와 extension이더냐 1 month, 2 months extension이더네 양 프라이 자나 겹게 디직 책임지고 이와디 로종 딱 많이 편들래리 말에 봐야 되냐마 딱이 long-term 되는 시대와 딱 디제니 딱 로종 치들래와이나 로종 디 찾아봐도 로종 디 더 로슨 것이도 로종 잘하신 되게 봐 로주주고 되게임바 와 토리노도 튼데고 되게임바 디기 돈에 안 콘주기 쇼신디마 징여 와자 이마이바 상말라 아니 아베스나 지결에 안 디디 뒤지지 제시 안 팔로게 직시 이바디 그랬나 딱 디디 릭시 요토네 아니 다 한다 RC 롱텀 디토니 RC 라인에 아니 디디 에듀케이션 디토니 쇼신 라우드는 RC 요나 RC 디 대배 니도 주니 규모라 로 다와주 와 산에 카실라 다와주 나오나 리뉴치고래 산에 카실라 로지 나오나 리뉴치고 데리도스나 다와주 나오나 리뉴치고 아 담사라 산에 셴바 로지 제 리뉴치고 다 니도 주니 로데 되게 두블라 송소아 니도 주니 기제라 아니 롱아 와 리뉴치기 자긴직 쇠나래 와니 쇠베토네 다 배바 아시 모다스 로레 제제 누치 무과제 롱아 나노라 땡지 누치기 자긴직다 이도 주인이 고추고 와니 고추네 데데직다 주요나 다 디술라 엘리지블 데 술에 캬고열라나 다디 찬스 조사오다 당보 베베 보고지 갸갈에 깨나 와 깨잖아 16 years plus 4 years 가서 20 years 로 제가 로주주 쓰나 알수 있어라 로주두스 디즈니 로시담바 로직직이네 리노치 로시 차스나 안 롱나 리노치에게 자기의 창시 설자세 디담다 레티스 인포메이션다 그냥 세우시네 하고 직시 변의 평행 심바이나 변의 수격줄 평행이나 from the date of arrival 가나 arrival 요라 레버네 지시 20 years 딘데지 임바이나 아니 롱나 리노치에게 자기의 요시 다 임바이네 와 따뜻한 클래스 대주나 뭐 대다선나 보죠 롱아 리뉴치에 사람살로 고주니 칼랑좀 주기에 스테이트 샤바 망처럼 고주토요 말 단대처럼 와 센트럴 거버넌트 마 모디피케이션 레고와 디기도니 따뜻한 카나다 스테이트 버전 고주차도 고주차에 계산 October 2012에 고주리 수고도 계산이 계제 주자바 제가 내가 도시나 리뉴치에디 고주차도 사람살로 주차 다 키란스케데 디기마데 디기 와라 캬쿠요나 아니 롱아 리뉴치 구에나 가리치고나 알고 산에 본지 이나 가나 산에 본지 일레레 시다 기능가 서 가슈데 산에 본지 이게 데바 체동 쉬어야 가다 디경고는 보시기 다 니마이네 경고를 주고 다 리고로 차려와 제가 산에 본지 기다 아주 배바 임바 한디 베리파이피케이션 지기다 산에 본지 이게 요나 차량에 지요 말 와 직접 딱 인데기 리누치게네레 아시사서 디가서 양 아주 배버스는 또 사사치고도 와 디니 그시나 아시다 직 아이시다 있는라 공을 제시켜 봐라 아시다 아이시니까 야슈기 익자 디 익자티 맞으로 배버스 니게레 제상만 계속 수지 익자티가 나쁘게 돼 맞으로 개요다 디월 아이시다 아이시니가 나치요다 IC 락다인데 즉 IC 도시나 자도든 당기도 땅 주마다 와 난 ICT 도큐멘트 마스기 개수부에서 수수원에 간 땡땡을 사고해 와 콜라마 돼 말라 이 다시 치고 와 디원에 보는 거 개기 보자 투쇼나입니다 직제 이번에 지나서 모두 남자지 수리나 가르스나 RCT 슈베가서 간에 망부 쉬어주래 디나로 가슈 대화초레 맞아 이비미티 그 대화치그래 데데기 맞으라 튕기신랑 차어제네 맞주기 낭매 체베도네 낭중당도네 낭매 체베도네 투슈 뭔가 두고도 당이 낭자지 쉬시리 와 빼서서나 론니기 뭐나 네 토포스 레세 그 말 카바탄 가는 RC 강에 채소 가리 강에 채서 나 로숨당 가지고 시 제샤스 sometimes 와 로숨 주는 시 제라 와 이제 도치기잖아. 바위를 이제 줘보죠. 콜레지 크게 갈라서 약하원들. 말을 줘보시면서 가르치에서나 나 RC 다와시 리뉴시 제셨어. 와, 이 상망도 게임 키우고 말아. 근데 미치기 게임 하기 분석이 체에 듣는 만족 배버치를 통한다. 와, 소수기 게임 하기 위해 돈에 소수기 지구에 이만큼만 경험을 RC 경고니라. 게임도 직접 다음에 계산가 내주지 좀 가르쳐왔으나 딱 그런다 저 토림롭대기 롭두치 롭좀 지서디 마드라스체 와 RCD 야스 사신 와 아니 리누시서 야지 그런 뭐 하대지 와 대신에 되게 말해 와 arrival departure 쉬 RC 리누시서 대열에 다나지 이루준대지 개마로 직지 다나시 네가 가동치 갈수나 인테기 RC 수백 이내에 다드네 단다 전에가 전에 중요로 marriage certificate 수기내에 birth certificate 셰신가 와 this 대화차도 marriage certificate 수기내에 affidavit 수기내에 birth certificate 수는 아주 바빠서는 또 섭섭해. 당고 가시나 marriage certificate 수기내에 가르치기에는 cancer 롭쇼이니라 로 스터디지 개코지만 와 직지 이것이 만족이 RC 나올라 가려서나 망보지 대비 만족 빨라 아무나 capture level 값으로 망제 date of birth so complete 지만 RC 나타라 1959 찍고 와 이것만 놓고와 땅도 신기스 디리도 삽삽난 것도 날 직지 다가나시 단다 된지기 라기 수백 값으로 가리강에 tis나 나다나 담선나 대비 값으로 아니 땅알로 좀 팀으로 좀 셔서 본직이 창사다데 서티피케이트라 샤바주리 나중에서 마도 추마와 생계 다레신지 두팅이 망고 쇼실라 남들 수백 값으로 대신나 메리트 서티피케이트 도 수고이나 와 다람살라 임바이나 먼저 스페셜 메리지 액트 월모도 지역만 관심나 스페셜 메리지 액트를 가르친 지역은 먼저 포리너스와 디토니 니마이나 힌두 메리지 액트 들어 먼저 레지스터 지역 관심나 힌두의 데피니션 갈라서나 힌두라나 way of life 데피니션 힌두는 수수나 식 부디스트 상무수로 먼저 부디스트고 디토니 먼저 배반수 메리지 레지스터 시던바 힌두 로와라 지역 니마 다람살라 디 제니 로야 카시지 다 디신의 디기미 도스 다 스페셜 메리지 액트 through 도스 케와 가르쳤나와 스페셜 메리지 액트 through라 메리지 레지스터 지와이나 30 days notice compulsory 와 나당 부모 상사 개구이나 얘기 애플리케이션 야테서 제니 다와치 링라 objection from my family side 파주 family side 용시로 콘진이 상사 개라 나 갑자기 있어 디게 돈다라 30 days notice compulsory special notice act 디게 돈에 안 배워서야 덧갈 거라 와 야스마 덧갈 하죠 정말 뭐 디스 교당 보도와 자 디다 내려둔 땅아 내서디 내려둔 귀셔와 내려둔 귀라 반대편에 있는 힌두 메리지 액트 와라 메리지 레지스터 지역에 이만이 나가고요 제가 배워지게 되는 게 정말 파피일 다 페베 가서 강의 시신을 주서로 강의 그렸으나 파일의 창사 레지스터 지역 값으로 만주로 프론트다운에는 만주기 프랑스라 다이렉션 남들 지월 우리 댐스테아스 데데데데다스 무슨 말 듣는 말에 가능한 충분히 예제로 와 지금 다나 다른서나 예배 값으로 내기 캠상이 부모님이 말라 창사 쓰고 도스라 아니 뒤지 유베 내가 키라서 뒤지 이마 숨주 십시에가 요나 다른서나 쓰여있나 디베트 루트 약속이스 다 뒤지 큰에 메스나 아니 자가기 스테이트 샤만은 쓰여오레스 for example 데르둔 수요스 콘스 뒤지 메스라 대행이 데르둔 나야가 에듀케이트 모션베르 예 폰탄시 이제 민니 땅 위에서 배바이스 로바치로 치스 땅 파땅도 참바 와 피스 동도 쪽숨 힌두 메리지 액트 와라 메리지 서티피케이트라 동도 쪽숨 키쇼스라 대내 코나스 폰탄 동도 쪽숨 레스니 동도 쪽숨 테 고에버리 요 말이스 와 카바 에듀케이트 카바티스 와 이 에듀케이트 데 마지스 아니 도선 액츄얼 expenses 가져 주르미니 하고게 됐어 이네 키라미 랭 말이스 와 이번에 키라미 reasonable 와 랭바이나 약보여레스 가지나 legal profession 그러니까 당보 스타트도 가는 noble profession 와 noble profession 이번에 동시에나 민기신 이제는 되게 noble profession 이번에 뒤기 천대여레 와 lawyers 가리 그것도 곧 참아서 뒤잡으러 가는 가운 정도 통세 롱이나 고분대기 된다 롱이죠 가운 뒤기 잡으러 가르치나 뒤잡으러 포켓 친주지 고수대 디 포켓 되냐마 가르치나 legal profession 데 noble profession 이 버선자 콘수기 피스차 주고만 lawyers 와 콘수기 강의에 있는 수 보드 수 될지 버버치 제가 디 클라인 콘수기 가르치나 가베링 원이 잡으러 크리스마스 배샤다 니벌로 와 다 배바다 치와 한번 친보다 제가 example 치 noble profession 와 다가나시 Hadisra lawyer kiwa only tone the human rights in a lawyer kashiki women's rights. You are the title of that called Bishop Malimutuliachi in the Yuri. Danishing matters MC Meta company Kasa. Commerce students Giro, law student commerce, someone on the case of the MC Meta was something MC Meta others door. MC Meta workshop Madura, MC Meta Culture public interest litigation and environmentalist lawyering. Quran young the ships about Quran get the dig, only coming in the Bombali to the Ropacha Chisha. The dig lawyer Mampuiri, but that is the Mr. Colin Dele. Mr. Colin Dosasna, Mr. Colin Dele, Mr. Colin Dela, Manzin of the time spent Chuvara. Quran time store, shoots are symbol, Manzuki lawyer free summer time for Chachivora. Chizuba, Kamachuma, detail this one. The dig on that Quran time the precious ray, in by net, Quran Saman letters, Manzuki Pebe, wash application was they did it all. Well, Quran gave my passion, who be time Quran Pishar. Well, the dig on that the dig lawyer, Yapun, the Yoda, Twy Yoda. And Manzuki lawyer is that for Yabra. That is a joke on my kitchen. Dixie, Dana she canceling it to us. You don't see any chance to us. You must shut on me, shut on say, correct it, shut the song, say, the Nipesha out, Digi correct, and Miss Sugi cooking. You must correct the shadow on the kids. Kids is a shadow those marking cable. What? Cable the Tamba, and a shadow on the Simba to Simadu. Simadu the Takuki shut on the quick walking in the Basonza, a cookie summer. Oh, Nisha and the shadow those Kumaku Madela, come to like I had made or summer. Yibai for a team singing me or Sonza, a cookie, Carsabare, oh, that gets a service. The Yibai can't talk with the day Shaka in the kiddo, kitchen shop Makuna, come to get your your son to your Marasango. There are something other dish on your Maras, dish in your signal. That's the shutting in the Kashito. Shutting in the Kashesna, that need Shagan shut of Kumar, that need to walk and study Tarawa. Indeed, the money could be passed like shut on the passed typical lawyers are. Cosa Chinche, Anthony, okay, I mean, Shagan on that. I mean, Shadow David Gosla, I'm not sure to read of the shadow those kidnap, not test those. They Shakumak in the Kiesons, and there are complicated your best and lawyer to guess it all. Lawyer take it, Yoda is complicated, yes. What that is what not so. Complicated, yes. Come to Yahweh on the time by name Kerala, compensation, Yapushura does. Yadas. Gagan Shadow. This year, the Cassette Shazongeti, 10 days was come to get your was. Taco position of that. Oh, 10 days. Do Shadow. That's enough. Come to just set the Chinsu around Ganisas. What? Kaisna, Kitty the book, Chinsu the Canadisas. She said, Shazna, Shazongeti, that comes to Gabway, that cannot talk you at the front in the Saran, continue for position. Tama comes to Jagis, even comes to Jasadi, and can't get Jagis. That deal at the young lawyer, the Mapachi. Touch 10 days for a country girl with my guest. I can thank you to come here still was the service. Shazongeti, can't come here still, you can take this one of James. Lalo, Lamgan lawyer, the checks to Muslim don't check. 가다 주셔도 도시로 무슨 돈을 주라 말해. 꼭 갖다 거르시는 잭 김돌. 보세. 임마증아 제라. 가시 있으래. 임마증아 제라. 샤강을 이기시들. 이 가래 라블레터 말해. 이 땅에 디 이비미트 땅에 말해. 와 수단에 이 땅에 쓰래. 대기 뭐예. 대기 로에들이 이기스탄 샤강 가리땅스나 해사 주제 세상들의 지가 샤송의 계란 예사를 내지 감주게 여다 요마스세 간설 잘레스 리커스의 계란 무슨 돈이다 피니스 인바이네 리커기 주제치 체가 시사스와 리 컨설테이션 피 5,000 와 제가 얘기 내들와 프로페셔널 젠차도 그러와 아니 되게 되게 다 촉진 시에로 다 하려고 알았어. 그래서 직지 다 되게 얘기자 가려나 메리 서티피케이트 도시아 자외값 인바이네레 단다 코랑 되게 코랑 보이는데 있기도 두디 나의 그냥 보이려도록 보더 크로스이와 보더 크로스 맞아 배버스 뭐니 सब선 나온 것이나 당보디 내가 거리 지에 인바이네 당보 오니 플랜치 니버디 티켓 또 그냥 나서선 또 보도 만수 정말 내가 정말 망제 정말 이제 망제 간점 tatgal ai kinzero changsa marriage certificate register chiguena wa thapune chigwa birth certificate chasadarwa keethani lamgyang chiwaina gomuchul wa khashe gyasung ni holling tadi ma gyanarwa ani gongcheru chedo garoshni tadu ma gyana magistrate sa do kyo chesa 부부께와다 딱히라도 신경을 시행제 맞나 당부께와다 부부들이 birth certificate 민 만노와 date 마체당 만노와 제 당분 내잖아 와 슈마 부부들라 베티마와 직제 이거디 부부들라 birth certificate 라사 찾으면고 딱 legal 와다 코게 팀이 통해 딱 톱당 당 참아라고 얘네 거기 팀이 통기 톱당다 랭게 되는 고수들 잡아 타마 가지나 death certificate 시세로 와. 또저 kenzo 롭션 신경전도 투시켰다야마다. 맞아 미 종차오다 선박교는 무대원에 와 종이되기 death certificate 개체. 와 제가 death certificate 맞냐 수요가 있나? 무이테 말해. 야디 마스터셔 기술 망보 개원하나 나 중간에 도고에 기술 고거게 무이테 고에 차기. 제가 이 death certificate 나와이나 내내 포랑기 팀기 토니 nen게 조거래 와 이돈이 이 death certificate 예배 토니 안 소수기 디왈 부부다도 그냥 큰 팀이 말해 팀도더니 가리가리 치고도 랭게 가루 상관이 또 정말 내가 저기 시시기라 다단다 이게 marriage certificate 시를 갑시다 만수기 디스투조 가르스나 우리 맞아다 이 나는 우리 남자 망보시대서 지금 누웠어 대사스나 단다 RC 대캬스 누치가 두고이나 RC 누치에는 비슷 큰 제어 말해 와 이번에 산에 군지 이 년가도에 델로그빌라 로보리 삼체 리기 두주트라레 삼체 단다메 델라 뉴스테이션나 만주기 프랑스 가스나 강나다 게로 찍게 니게 숨체 안 콘주게 딩줄롱 토네 안 미케션 마티오나 내가 마시 전체 왜 다나시 엑짓 슈그이네레 PC 슈그이네레 리턴 비즈 슈그이네 든주살라 폴리스 엔콰리 리그베 엔콰리 리그가서 피셔 가신죠 아 소수기 내가디 교포 차야된다 지를 당하죠 또 디기 제목을 든다라 코란 빌 두즈 슈게 엑짓 슈그이네 리턴 비즈 슈에라 코란 디가기 폴리스 스테이션다 안 FRO 콘스기 프로시저 참아 두고로 와 디 조베 토네 코란 로치 개마 수송나 상상치다 나는 일단 단다 메리스 레지스터 집에 가서 나 상상은 맞지 아니 지게를 필요해 아니 장사 없이 아니 배샤만 보시지 세상 이 김사 부모님 땅도 담바 돈도 조금 키실래 담바 가심 키실래 담바 대기 로야 대기 다리나 두서와 tuntuk tanga joma ki tona ni senga tesha todumsa ta khan pe ba de che ni ma ni de ling us wa chesa ni ma ki pe ba di che di ni che kang es chen te ni wa di chini pe ba kol pe she yor samche tona josum ki shol dene ma to ke che she ni ke che she ne tona chupa de les ta ni khawa ma da sala de ra khawa ani ka to tona chu te o mare rap chuna ni dong ma ke bu ma cha ro chi chen so dis ka le ke ma lo ye shamba ste ma ne te 이 제백 인제시네 배바 뚫어놓으라 굉장히 튀기 말했어. 와, 이대시지 않은 타마들라 시동맞게라 라샤. 아니 콘세이티스 텔라시 시동맞게 됐어요. 임바이네 배바 하시 돈을 생을 때도 쓰기도 됐나 됐으기도 하시 때로. 제가 되게 보더 크로스 디카미치 원데. 보더 크로스 집에 가서 필라 폴리스 스페셜 키스란 바테냐도 제 스페셜 예즈 이테냐도 제 미니에서 강에 제. 디딩 무슨 수수문이 섭섭치오나 디딩 비에 강에 마용한 직생도와. 다나시 만조 빙이 로야 가르치도 있으나 딘디로 보면 못치도 나는 다른 사람랑 알아 배바지 교육 김에서 갈래스나 창사기 서티피케이트 수구에 이내 먼저 피낸셜리 지난 비해서 아니 뭐 가서 때도 살았어요 이 돈때도 살았어 한 지금 얘기 만조다 중에 이제 마도 좀 많이 하는 게 좀 맞게 되지 수고서 이마 로에 무엇인 것이라 나 폰단체 한 거랑 내가 되레사스 지동하게 수로신 건 지동하게 수를 봐 중자수다 근데 저거 지트엔데 이어 that is mountain 참으세요. 와. 따드리게 돼 잠시오가 이 주사마스는 되고 아니 따 침식한 게 꼬르시에디 니 연구절 시기로와 침식한 걔네 필요와 침식한 따 얘기 도대체 그나 RC 제대로 니와디 침식한 꼬르다 jurisdiction디 공기 가고 지사래 난 침식한 꼬르시에디 아니 연구절라고 좀 주시 디가서 그거 나로 나스 바슈토네 아니 게 다른 잠시 그렇지
Thank you, Mr. Consultation, for sharing your wonderful experience and overview on related topics that we are facing in Tibetan communities. At the same time, you entertain us from your professional perspective. So we really enjoyed your section. And the participants, if you have questions on a related topic, you're most welcome. The answer will be later on after having a discussion among the speakers, so that you can have question now. Anyone have a question?
I said earlier that I don't have RC and IC, and I've been living in Bangalore for the last almost 5 years. So does that make me eligible to apply for RC in India or IC in India? So that's my question.
Again, I have a question on the written visa. I feel it's quite related to when we are talking about registration and documents. Actually, the written visa is must to apply a visa to European countries. And then here I have experience because I'm helping to so many Tibetans, especially from Bailukupi, and especially for monks. I'm doing a social work course, and it's part of my social work. So we have lots of problems. Apart from that, here it takes long procedure, and more than they said 1 week, 10 days, but then it takes more than 1 month. I can say that. And then about that, we have to bribe them, and we have to pay them lots of amounts. So in other North region, Dehradun, and I heard one RC department, I forgot the name, but from Dehradun side, but they we can get within a day. The maximum 3 days we can get a written visa from north side. But in Karnataka, Vidhan Sodan, more than 1 week. So my question is there any possibility to change the policy in legal way? So this is my question. Any question?
Samana ngadile sheya. Ani nimira kamsela. Ani ngacho harikata ina. Thank you ngacho kare neko ringi tje na ni dije de pa jana eresyo. Ani te yakojine shula ya ngacho poine neko yumi mi mongopeli dia. Ani kutsuge dije je de doani diremana jimi dia. Ani kutsu saja 과거나 참만이 내가 저거들 네가 언제 어디 시킨다가 인다는 거야. 근데 그때야 뒤져봐 간지 장마들이 한 번에 니만이만 빼셨지도야. 아니 니 좋아 버리면나 계시 뒤져봐 장아이나 수의 장고를 간지 장고를 막 세부지 슈루질래. 그렇지나.
For the next session, we have Mr. Tilentundu here with us to talk on the basic criminal procedure and related issue. And as you know, Mr. Tilentundu is the only practicing Tibetan advocate in Southern Tibetan settlement, and he's been doing wonderful job, as Tenzila said, and he's very helpful in Tibetan community in Edzai. So they would like to request to talk.
Hello, just late. 지난 2007 March 지금 South practice 지어라. 지난 이 court practice paper나 혼술 매소 차되고라. 지난 이 내가 legal talk 내가 그룹나 first step 되게 대신에 계승이 시장 통은 리드리션은 원다 쉬어라. 얘는 가나 가수의 팀 시원하게 기나줄라. 고도 빼야 100% 이베전지. 이게 토픽들이라 베이직 크리미널 프로시저 차리고라. 지난이 가지고 인트로덕션도 제가 지난주 지난이 크리미널 로 지난주 지난 먼저 개가 로나 크리미널 로 디마트 크리미널 로 디마트 메인 크리미널 메저 액트 수미어 인디언 피널 코드 인디언 에비던스 액트 코드 오브 크리미널 프로시저 되게 프로시저 되게 수미라. 당보다니 어디 서스템 로 라디니 찍찍찍 마시셔라. 지난게 크리미널 로는 이제 게시 크라임 크리미널 로라 crime country mo country chikami chiga sinera individual person victim person jura kola possible effect chabo mar society at large chadego. This was like you see criminal case the case victim the patient agri party jura ko kachila case the state prosecute chidu kinds it's offense against the state chadego ra maybe the kinds na criminal offense the individual chikol effect chabo society at large chadego. This was the case some shungi prosecute chid suppose criminal case the kyanzo victim chadena kyanzo case the free of course shungi chid from A to Z from beginning complaint get suddenly final judgment even appeal court Supreme Court for the donate some shungi chidira patient nganzo the magistrate court in assistant public prosecutor session court in public prosecutor high court in government pleader dige some chishira with the basic knowledge to it kyanzo criminal case karma kachine kyanzo free of course chid victim party claim da accused so kodak bidora in the chadore and chidan criminal the main principle the criminal law the content which offense commit chinara burden of proof lies on the public prosecutor yora case the beyond the reasonable doubt proof chiu the criminal case khandam khande ine court la khachi ure thoppachi nege proof chiu kese thoppachi gyona accused charge ur the basic knowledge to ra chidan dina criminal measure act like Indian Penal Code Indian Evidence Act Code of Procedure which the Indian Penal Code the evidence currently is a shame right basic knowledge to just main thing criminal procedure code shares right the Indian Penal Code na khayo randa mas main the act dichina the patient act dichina offense the commit to the definition dishe shares right tanashiki act chigachina ani punishment lo dugos yores in the patient example shower on the Indian Penal the patient offense against the public tranquility yore offense against the offense affecting the human body offense against the property they some your china thing is not in the patient offense against the tranquility doing gachina the patient was unlawful assemble the patient section 171 Indian Penal Code unlawful assemble the dishike the unlawful assemble khandi in ra kisi unlawful assemble in the kisi minga le manga ra common intention chigi kuzu kisi criminal the criminal force to which use che gachina unlawful assemble chati go that patient thing pesha go IPC na iti dishike yorta ra unlawful assemble chati go res thanashiki ngato section 143 le kisi which unlawful assemble chig offense to commit che cheshana ani dina dishike re kisi the punishment the khandil na ani 6 month imprisonment chati go re or fine or both the chati go ra thanashiki di jail wa kharte de la Penal Code le kisi classification de ra kisi offense the cognizable offense in a non-cognizable offense in the cognizable offense na kisi petty case mare it's the patient manzo ki heinous crime tige sama cognizable offense ra cognizable offense the current difference to kisi cognizable offense karmo khari commit chine ra police ki without warrant accused arrest show ra non-cognizable sama khachi gore magistrate ki order manner arrest show mar the has basic knowledge ra tanashi ki manzo dinal dishi ge summary trial the warrant trial khangi ge ra summary khachi case khachi summary trial yore case the patient office did do it on a simple way summary trial summary trial la china the trial to do case sub patient accused the court la case on the summon tang sama warrant issue chi mari but summary trial the warrant trial gure the country lan case summary trial the patient conjugate the patient court la patient check post case to accused the court la show la thama chicks the court ki summon tang case pose ever chi yang you re-summon tang case yang ever chi yang yosh tang deni NPW issue show NPW issue na warrant trial chasar and thanashiki bailable the non-bailable yawa cheers to the offense someone bailable offense khandila le kissing also offense kharmo khari commit chine less than punishment 3A that's not bailable offense bailable offense na kya right to kya ra court la court the bail petition the just take over without conditional take over without conditional take over non bailable in conditional take over is that cannot as a matter of right body deal with them most to take over in the chat over Tanashi can also get your color case criminal case the court suit tribal issue criminal case karmo khari ne court ni trial cheat first magistrate court the session court trial cheat magistrate court la china you know offense karmo khari commit chine punishment dikisi lo doing ki namlo iga chaga china magistrate court trial cheat show ra case offense dikisi more than 7 years especially 10 years to the life imprisonment the death sentence iga china session court trial cheat that this some IPC dishi ge ni IPC brief introduction je ho IPC na probation dishi ge re punishment dishi ge re classification kind of cognizable dige discussions ki rahu dige discussion ani patient language kishura the patient offense writing doina writing the dish writing na khala wor kisi nila sa Allah wala sab kisi ko zom che kisi ko criminal force use chiga china ra and the writing chati wo an thaji Allah was jigo zom da ko act we can cheo mare zom bazam ki Allah was chati wo re kisi writing inga china kisi ngo mingma le ha zom che ko criminal force use chiga china writing chati wo re ani writing ne thar dish ke kisi offense writing commit chiga china ani punishment the 2 years race ni fine che ani with both the dige dish ke shure and thanashing and wala dish ke shure classification drop and the cognizable offense in non cognizable offense warrant trial session trial thanashing bailable offense non bailable offense any thanashing compoundable offense non compoundable so would like to say compoundable offense na kira compoundable offense consider outside court compromise issue criminal case in non compoundable in but magistrate ki permission kal khans compound issue nangi tang show warta compoundable in this case kashi criminal case la nangi tang show in year ina ngat classification IPC na te re personal offense karmo khari commit less than 2 years ingashna compoundable offense chadi or outside court la party need compromise china chishu war ra in non compoundable offense with judge permission ma chishu war mar odi did the IPC to not re Tanashi special dinner IPC offense affecting human body la share offense affecting human body la tapis na murder doiga chana kisi michi kisi acting with the intention for intention year che ni khata michi se ga chana murder cha duri la tanga chida dinner IPC deshi ke act intention murder cha dures kisi murder show da chinga chana ani punishment di khacha dure yam life imprisonment yam death sentence cha dure ani khasa case di cognizable offense cha dure and non bailable race and tanashi non compoundable race and court district trial issue or session court trial issue the IPC na dishi get the IPC khala wor likha so brief introduction table ra ni get session the the mare ra ene do jire ta ine ngaso iti IPC na certain exception yorta ra kande mango exception yor kha so ek khashi la kha so crime chago yo mare ta dingi highlight na samsura patient section 96 la nothing is offense which is done by in the exercise of certain Section 82 na nothing is offense which is done by a child under 7 years of age na kisi pu du namlo ki pu chi ki crime commit chiga chena ko la mixe yota di gimze khaisna ko crime chi ko state of mind yo mar pu chi ji ra kyu kisi mixe ki me from ha go mare ku ra chi ji ko la di state of mind yo mare di da du ko la mixe IPC na khala ko la eta kanda ko exemption yota para general defense state war suppose pu chi ki khala wo murder do chi chena ra pu lo di namlo chi ma su ko la do ko general defense issue gore ko lo doing in amlo res ra ko la state of mind yo mares kanda kyugi puudi midi sege no kono ha go ma kisin ye puudi tiru sugo na tiru su mi phagi chale ha go mare midi tiru mi phagi shige ha go ma odi inga chani exception case yo ra Tanashi section 83 na ra nothing is offense which is done by child above 7 years or until 12 years ra yeah I want to law na khala share but kisi pu lo du namlo che under 12 years ingashna crime china kisi ku ge ya offense mare la ra ine ko su main dirta ya court ge state of mind dal dirta ko inji the patient diga incapable of nature the knowing of the act kanda phygi chigyo de kona par ha ku mega china exception yorta ra and Tanashi the legal matu khachi shuwarna insanity unsound minded ingashna kisi michi ge crime to commit michi say or crime to commit chiga ko la mi say yorta ra ine ngan insanity le legal insanity the medical insanity khani yo ra medical insanity la doctor lower kunyamba relo jidan ro nyamba khashi yan samso level thagoyo ro mansu medical incentive ngatu court diral marta defense ram mare ro legal incentive defense legal incentive ne khala golana ka deduce se de crime de chidi ko state of mind dom to tag kisi ko state of mind mega china ko general defense kisi minyamba do inga china di kisi state of mind mega china ko di crime chawo mare ta dige dikino basic knowledge da hago ko chora ani nothing is often which is done by intoxication drug is intoxication the equation intoxication crime what's the defense intoxication the voluntary chairman so intoxication defense without his knowledge intoxication crime commit state of mind defense intoxication the voluntary ramada economy shibaji administrative the law it is not defense the defense the chidagre right of the act section 92 act done in good faith for the benefit of person without consent kisi peshana doctor surgeon do the Section 85 na so section 85 na act is not intended to cause okay kisi ro abishna section 85 na khalo kisi surgeon ji operation chidi khanda gi chida operation chidi ko gansan yor ta pujo doctor do ine patient chide ga patient critical condition pe critical yoga china ra ine phame gi lare sign gas re kan ding gi ko operation chi choga le khu ha ko ora kisi ku operation china she chances yor ta ra ine shina ko crime chalo yo mare ko legal defense chalo hasna phame gansan test ra in good faith chira ko gi di ko gi chang mare crime chang mare ra act done in good faith for the benefit of person without consent. The patient surgeon patient critical in this some stage in the emergency operation within a minute in good faith without parents consent called general defense means the crime legal defense section 93 communication made in good faith. Suppose the patient high BBP and doctor in good faith cannot cancel the child. Who Tavara had a rich and the patient could in good faith the legal defense the intentional chair in the Chature. Tanashing is the case of the right of private defense against body and property. The Yaman lawyer, but they cannot see the kitchen today. Council so Gabella rights your special right into the Section 96 nothing is offense which is done by in the exercise of right of private defense against body of individual in other in it. So chiku kanda meeting patient Quran gi sola nyanga yuna meeting attack chagale Quran sola nyanga yuna yamena Quran grievous hurt nyanga yuna suppose the patient in so aggressive chacho marta mission but suppose the le the meeting chicken le chicken le thasa mi do le ko ta suppose ngala attack chagale ga china 코디네 술리에 비트거는 이거 마이크 슈니 코스 다가라 리드 시가지나 말 디펜스 가서 하나 소개 한다 맞아 라이트 한티어르나 니에기 보디 기스나나 there is average of that 이게 지금 내가 지나 마시에 내가 배워라 디신에 가이 특별히 마이크 이거 오갈 시가지나 마차고 말해 이내 마이미에 파코르 에덱치가로 당보기는 기세 수수디 인가지나 에그레스는 랑 말다 수수 당분이라 파 에덱치가로는 랑 말이가 술 인디케이스 랑 추고라 다른 시기 property backup 추고 야가나에 가려 right to private chilling right to private defense the individual must individual the family must chogo marta chilo mil chogo marta beshna suppose call michi rape chidira michi moshingo marra ine ta michi mid rape chide ka du nye yo marta ko uso ge khüge ta beshna doro shur mid shiga shiba ko right ko general defense right has to khüge michi ba so kya bro ya maso ngana gyagan IPC na khari ro kisi right the social so jigu cap chu mare su pinya jigu mare mission ba kisi in good faith the chega so le chu ra chige linga chana sip social gi on body the on related to mission ba chana defense drive mar un chati gore tamchi property cap chu social property mission ba the property means also theft chigu ne robbery chigu extortion chigu drive khari chigu ne it patient the gonda ele tam ha go mi ji gonda la nagu la nang la kusim simple to gala ta khan property khan skebe hinge ra suppose khan su chi dobro chi mi di shi khan su defense drive ta ra the right to private defense in a right to private defense limit yorta patient ra niela sataji hisi niji ngala chitu galega china ma average ma is average of death chitu zuna ma shi nyanga pe ro 당시 미지 멘다 킬레나 ma shi nyanga pe ro ini gyopa tablo 킬레 ro ni gi kusse ga chi nyama ro kaisa limit exit chi ra kogi gyopa ta na ma gyopa ta ba ni ba se chu mo ba with limit exit chi gyo ba the can do the main rights that can ra Indian penal code law can right dige some can rights the IPC got brief introduction to ra Indian Evidence Act Indian Evidence Act la china ta matu nangri kita court la chiu phandi chief examination phandi chiu me cross examination di dos grade yo mar kran ra sama court ke nalo lega yang chiu phandi ko go be dege samu chadi go ra sa thiri ni to be so the dirta criminal procedure court ra kran so case khandi phai chiu me case okay 지난 인데 그래 야하포르 라기시 크라임 컨트롤 컨디션 커믹 지역샤셔네리 라 담분이나 먼저 first 먼저 가지고 그런다 비시나 victim party first the 비시나 crime suppose let's crime 지 commit 지라 crime commit 지니 victim party la first ko right khariyor나 그기 complaint get 라 first complaint क्या 먼저 first the criminal case begin with complaint go to 라 the suppose crime 지 commit 지래 니 complaint दी 인지미지 खरदे कम्प्लेशन एग्रीड पार्टी 지 को क्या मारे 그게 두고 그게 빙야 게리 컴플레인스 게리 지고 있더라 당시 아이위트니스 미치기 비신 인시던트 통으로 그 컴플레인 police station 가가도나 그 야슈고 라 당시 헤스 에비던스 네 팩트 클리어 하고 뭐 말다 남주 거 미치기 시술을 한 미치기 시술을 하고 이래 그 police station 가가도가잖아 그 컴플레인 야슈고 라 first the can complain 수익 야슈고면은 되게 야슈고 인지미지 에그리 파티 말다 소소 victim 차고 말에 victim 비 낭미이네 디그리 next friend이네 디그리라 당시 아이위트니스네 디그리 당시 헤스 evidence mato miji amjo khorda fact ini complaint the inji complaint definite gorda definite in the sense cognizable on commit decision and gorda ra decision ya wait please new marda ni gipenge la di khare meda shuri ke khoso na ra miji shin sare ra police complaint ya marda lapsa khase information definite gorda wait go marda ra information be clear gorda khase that ini पुलिस की कंप्लेंट इन्हीं दोष क्या ने पुलिस नहीं खाला ना मज़ो कंप्लेंट खंडू में खंडी ने पुलिस स्टेशन ला डेली रजिस्टर ले जो वो तो नोट छुप क्यों रहा इन्हें क्यों अपने पासपोर्ट ला जो स्पोर्ट लगता है खंडा देश किसी डेफिनेट कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस इन बीच में ना अन कोई एफआईआर क्या हो रहा दिल्ली जुलाई इंडी रोज रे इन्हें चिता जंगू से ना कंप्लेंट क्या तो उन्हें practical करने के लिए खाओ यो, हाइंसना especially मतलब पेपर में पे कांगे चीज़ थी रा, complaint यंगी पच्चीस साइड पे powerful यो ना, पुलिस की complaint यंगी मार रा, पुलिस ला ड्राम में defense share कुछ रा, patient ना मतलब patient ना क्या जो शिंगे जिला crime commit चीरे, कुछ complaint यंगी मार, माला तंको survey शिंगे के survey नंबर बोला रा, survey नंबर मारा तो तुम्हारा crime FIR ना खड़ी lodge कोई, तो कुछ technique ड्राम में तो रा या, इन्हें चीज़ की मिची complaint क्या चाहिए किसी की ना जो complaint मारिया ना चाहिए क्या जो civil ना sorry criminal की remedy करियर लाना रहा हम जो section चीज़ FIR करिए sorry चंदा दी इधर complaint क्या का जो रहा complaint तो कौन क्या बोला section 154 FIR क्या बोलता क्या जो रहा FIR क्या जो बोला किसी बोलता मतलब पेशेंट पुलिस की FIR क्या जो करा दी क्या जो की statement मतलब law ना खान चाहिए रहा किसी क्या जो oral statement इन्हें दियो रे written statement इन्हें दियो रे ना चाहिए रहा practical ला मतलब फेवर पे कांगे चीज़ करने के शिव को मरवा इसने orally complaint के चेक हमारे इन्हें क्या जो written complaint इन्हें जिगोश रा चेरे complaint दूसरे वाला खान चाहिए खुद से गिची ना कि इन्हें law ना करना ना theory the practical is hard था law ना करना IO ला permission यो IO की complaint जेट शो वाला बोला IO ला ना मतलब काम अच्छी क्यों station खाने में खाने चीज़ IO चिक ते 24 hours दे उस काम अच्छी क्यों रा तब मतलब सारे डाले मतलब मुझे Sija Belgi doinga, Musu doinga china, Mazu station chigla Mazu dio, SI, Kamani, so Kamani was your Samara, Kiranzu Yesa doinga china, some dio, circle inspector, Kamasun station is taken out the Koromala, Tanish Wake, Nagari, Ashok, Samara, circle inspector, you heard Samara. Did I do the Mazuta station practical, the to do I would kissing as a mega officer in just a company Yagatona, quick hunting, SI the phone numbers, and if Mazula company Michigan, quick phone a company Gabber, Yaman Kransu. Then complain the sign registered FIR and FIR gets started. FIR gets how the Lapsam was the daily edition sport the door. Sport the patient crime, Karma sport the door, Mother gave the patient accident to child, an accident the Kuzu get the patient accident such a deal take this shas, and a Kuzu mother don't she police give you a mission back or the patient sunny mitahadosh, police with knowledge mother gave mother patient can accident child, accident sport the W watch and the Kuzu mother gavura, meeting sign the need you mother guest and sign your meeting chilomi, but police crime motion mother chilomi in the mother. Such a koala chime, such a chance of the changel swim, cultural swim, a sharpal swim, nuptial swim, they get some mazana teeth. And Chala Karmo Hariku recover Chine, recover patient accounts of Menda, Chito Karmo Harik, blood state cloth, Karmo Harik, recover Chine, Poliski, statement in Dugala. Injimiji are not mission backward. More than 2 people in a came. Could you do the Mazar Java? I travel with the Lord or not there. So the police came up in Chissing. Mazar and it's a Kadi, Mazu sport. The investigation starts with the draw Mazar. And Mazar M.A. Z.A.R. M.A.R. Z.A.R. Sorry. Yeah, Mazar report. Mazar has a sport like of ritual. Jala collect patient information patient to getting a patient to meeting the exchange extension of the sport drawn chido. Eyewitness tea such a deal was marked to the Mazar Sati with the Mazar. Tamashi Matan Fish and Jala recovered pistol recovered pistol the recovered pistol the recovered pistol the quality recovered chime, Kadi recovered chime, meet you in a Javore, such a quality was a place. Okay, I need to say, any FIR. Okay, sport Mazar Gavore, sport gets how the Kunzugi Dichi once, okay, FI research is how and Kunzugi Dichi arrest Chulapsa, investigation start Chulapsa, investigating a sport la Dure, accused person Simbu, in accused into the council, complaint Gaduga, council, FI copy, council free of cost, council, complaint suppose council complaint Gavatore, FI copy, the Kunzu gets how the complaint that free of cost copy, Santiago, the council right. Tanashiki accused arrest session, that was arrest accused the correct accused the conservation meeting simulta, missing in Sinna, who would not inform you. Ni put Sinis, Hansko bail to the legal remedy or the inform you. The complaint only for a practical get to come to get a couple years. Right, I think practical experience on the Chiduga beginning to Mazokom get a childra, any struggle, Javish, the mission. Need example to own practical experience. Nanyama Manzunga 2008 8 sorry 9 la kanda manzu gi phigala meet manzu help mi chi kem khangboda diporula baba chi dam mi shita auto chi da baba no ga kemni baba mi shitra shini action khodi challenge su global challenge ra mala chi chi wal phone less ani tibe manzu megela dine khare action challenge ku shro ba chi shro dansa ra mama to mi mangu the police some mazar ro chisha in fact the condition action the chats how ra Pudi condition that soon you have to go over that. Order the old thing immediately of some police intimate phone tangsha or the Decare Pani Bapachi speed, you speed lessons me, although she put her done she's on the Shira. Who I witness me Chile Zuma, the Zuma camera. Inform Chile, police keep out sport at Tabatorta, who complain they were putting complain Yawura, complain gave FRS so much Yeshira. If you got a Maro country jewel Ra, jewel Tamahachu was a robot Yura. The name also I witness him, complain the Yawa, couldn't do Marina. Ra, Kunzo in the Kuzu police get on Suka Yamata, police complain gave police keep Kaligal Ketam, Michi Ketam, Ni Ketam, Sungeta, police some have war, eyewitness here may have war. Then after you complain, get an eyewitness score, near the people, eyewitness tuition, you complain, came crowd me, Zuma in a complaint get war, you complain get orders. Government Nazuki Peshna, Tuana, Chugibus, Tomotion, Chujuni, the Chasas, Case Nazuka, Sama Turn or Chasarta, research Udi was a big lecture or a Chasare. It is still Nick him and the council eyewitness will show you complete the eyewitness statement will come in the right to transfer. Must station amount Dra, station amount to Nagale, Manzuki, Mazumishisu, Manzuki, Mid Mare, you're the immediate Lavata, Chitani Council Candela with Mera, Nilare. Machidan ki petrol pump ni chisi gubas la dirma ani petrol lu chedri dia dugus ra ni dun la baba pasal studus ma shu digus yani ma odo chik speed ya yu tang chira ke me baba ga shu sus ra baba shu ni khoma ri sus ra rio ta ni la re kezi ko ma amra yu ke sus ra ko ta shi sa sha ra lapsa ma chida shi mos kem ge inform chiga drin la ta ra zuma shi ra da idiro dum se ni statement ga dorta 제대로 걸어 뒤에 SIP 독재를 맞은 남기 배를 남기 SIP 독재래. 그 어디 그 칼라라 캐나기 당고시나 캐나기 디치도 매니플레이트 지도라 캐나기 아이비 주머니 케이스 주머 야간이 도라 그거 인팩트 오네게라 야간이 도 가이스나 마디 케이스 담보로 인지비리 말아 치수 캐나즈 미치미도 아이비드스 칸딜리에라 니 아이비드스 제로 그 스테이트먼트 캐나 리서치 캐나 컴플레인 야고 오래래니라 아코 게리메스야 니가 스트립 데일리 레지스터 에디슈 마 아이비드스 컴플레인 칸데 야고 했어라 퀄리티 건 겟싱스 니는 야고데 맞아 라이트 제레 그거 라이트 캐나스키 인베스티게이션을 그 FIL에 개요라 인베스티게이션을 수뉴지 하고 FI structure, right? Putting it right really. And then I'm not to go to one thing you will must have the something SIG Mazuiti Lara. And you want to make a law shall go away. I witnessed the statement in a complaint meeting right. Who gave in King Ra, and you gave my Ra. And you did some camera saying I'm going to take out some Ra. Did you want senior? You senior a phone time, no is in the Chusun Ra. And this is not complaint get to a chile. 코에 말레스 조아다 주스 두얼 에사이레스라 레오다니 네 큐카레레니 당고 맞수 미 말한수 미시레레라 맞수가 추게스자도 라야 맞수 아이비디스 치기되기나 케이스 같이 가신 얘기면이라 아니 라디고 그 하스나 과거서 캐런수 뉴뉴 야자 야는 야리자 스포트 따가 줬어 맞을 야사 아니 맞을 드레인 스포트 맞을 야기도가 스포트라 답사들라 다 맞수 지나기 위에 뭐불려 얘네 맞수 지나기 리걸 테오리 걸 맞이 프랙티컬라 바바 같이 답도 하고 말아 얘네 같이 바바 당이 3회 공유로 굳이 갈랐으나 이 야전 걔네 야 뉴주 야 오르디 리샤사 라야 아니 로번 예시를 냠볼이 돼 아니 단대로 갈라도 캐나즈 뉴주에서 아니 랍상에 로버디 제게서 카레스 키라 아이비디스 인베스 이 타지에 키라 통수에서 키라 미데 돌아 카레스 키라 당고니 얘기 깔린디 머겔 감된 게가 그냥 야고를 민도서 그 비셔테스에서 키라 에세 카레스 제게서 단대고 얘기도 아니 먼저 지기를 해라 아니 먼저 감린 넥스트 먼저 리걸 레미디 해라 넥스트 먼저 한지래 서글 넥 때워치나 먼저 SP를 감린티 우리 SP 감린티 리처라 SP를 하래 바이 칸즈 감린티 포스트 라 먼저 가서 next 코그 토르스레 서글 인스피레 찾고 라 서글 인스피레 먼저 감린티 가서 얘네 게임뉴 바꿔다 게임뉴 민 가서 쇼다 이 같이 좀 따버려라 게임뉴기 남레 미레레레 남 미갸레레 한번 스택 지주기 플러스 치로 팔라 사팔로 폰타이라 사쇼 팔라 마주 비시 손스 컴플레 갸마 손스 에스 이리 갸나로 에스 마 유블리 마자 야 로고 마레 라야 레스 마 레스 에티 갈라니 딱 인스텐트 배치 부샤라 쳇디 갈라 아니 디 나바 한번 스택 지요 마리지 안티 라디 갈라 서글 인스피레 나노 케 당스라 아니 프로블럼 가르모 가리네 콜레 마토 그레스 마르라 쇼스 마 프로블럼 가리라 에파 리서치 마소네라 에파 리서치나 리서치 아그 치고서 정말 치사했다. 원디더니 practical experience 치고라 complaint 게다 이제 강에 티나 기란주 인지미지 내일 좀 하고 SP라 리치 말이가 기란주게 서글 인스피레를 주네 디고레 기란주 로엘 치 제주네 디고레 politician 툰 주네 디고레 갖다 인플루언스 게터 치고다. 라디 모 legal 모 백 컴플리케이티드 기란주 SP 존은 SP 니머니 제 컴플레인 레터로 라야 쳐야 봐라. 인 스포트 미리 지나게 되고 있어. 오케이. Okay, any the FIR gets so that me accused arrest chinglas arrest chisana isn't and chicken the FIR gets an FIR the within 24 hours la FIR the copy lapses gets an SP the copy chicheush DIG the copy tam by tamra court the FIR the magistrate within 24 hours produce to FIR research chisana produce chure hanashi get up some arrest you accused person the within 24 hours na magistrate produce court maybe one day magistrate 남치도 중에 당고를 내고 라 매지스리 같이 있잖아 디 콜 기지치 그나 일틱빈 치수에 기지치 지나 라 지우스 라우레 지면은 지마선 라우 안 폴리스 같이 리마트 애플리케이션 개부 에더 PC JC 폴리 야면 폴리스 커스티가 링그리 야면 JC가 judicial custody. Police custody, there was an investigation within 24 hours. Immediately, it's how I show. In case quick investigation, police demand eviction get you just a color. Marco further, custody, police custody, police corrupt Tanana, judicial custody was an ambiguous on my within a book share. They need difference in most of cases, judicial custody. Police custody, the maximum 14 days of Chachu Marsh. They need JC number. JC the number of Yamachushi Tigre, Yamachushi bail mother with an exit days. Okay. Accused person the right to draw. Taco arrest Chisana Cola, bail shake is right to draw. Chinagam bail was Kanye or the regular bail, the anticipated bail. Regular bail can arrest Chisan regular bail sure. Anticipated bail and supposed to meeting crime ship the supposed murder Chosha, Mother contact Chile, ye murdered Lichi Sudama Julie and Badula, ye can give the anticipated bail should. Anticipated bail when there is an apprehension of arrest. Arrest in Manzo the session court, Yaman High Court, you got anticipated bail, the session court to get sure, High Court to get sure. Yana Jigorda, had the anticipated bail, the Mara for the new accusation and Jordan, legal technique, the Chadora, and a regular bail, the once. In the anticipated bail, Rasana, anticipated bail Sasarani, regular bail, March Jordan in court, the Sunday in Digor, anticipated Rasa, anticipated bail at the court will just give you a Gora, and Court Lamarto, regular bail, just condition shelter, cannot the personal bond, Bishop to go so, surely the detail, cannot be color. Eyewitness, the show mail, and some conditions you when the show regular bail, the condition touching the shake as offense to them as a court, criminal court case near the court near a magistrate court, session court, Magistrate court, offense, the less than case offense, less than punishment 7 years, magistrate court, a bail gets and case session court, the more than 7 years, the patient, Lochu in life imprisonment in death sentence in they get the bail court, the session court, and also practical and Kachura, magistrate court, reject high and the tribal session court, dig gasona, dig reject on a session court, appeal Lapsa dictus. Bail here, it is non-bailable in a bail condition condition of bail. After the main council nature offense rape is suppose council murder, the rape to Ingachana and bail Rahapur. Dawson did Rahapur. Is it Dawson in the charge sheet the within 90 days of has much not military, bail chapus, bail Gilicha, bailing in a session court again in Tigore, legislative court and Tigota, the offense that Tabora, the bail moves his son of some occupation 3 music bail Gilta. Bail gets an judge and objection date council next issue, objection file to bear. Then also internal the Namora case the speed of chair, bail Yopura chair, also public prosecution is the practical with the bigger rock. Jenna Q objection to CD report, police practical today, police the job police the seat today, Shun lawyer objection city go case steady, the police station that investigation the report the Kolasha or objection and it's Kashi can special objection but Denmark city Ramos practical in other face you do not practical the transfer Denmark and kissing option Yokana legal argument here. Bail the condition corporation council help the Abu Negacina, Teshura, and bail the case, Mangu, case chick patient, passport case chat, Ajajila, I see the passport case chat there. Passport case is not to bail the magistrate, bail tissue. In a non-bailable condition section section 47 get the clause 1 country accused the sick person Yaman age Yamana minor in condition the tissue right patient case Yama Supreme Court ruling Tangre didn't have a low issue murder more bis fitting doctor Porking Karikaroga date and kissing most one of the food effective Raya. One day was citation Tangre and Yen Halaman say used the Kimi, who many and table conditioning Kimi is Mogi Amani never is medical big dinner. Mola Puchida and the court in Shibzatan Mare, Puchu, was the post school we Puchu years. And Mother section 447 condition the tissue. Kanda Manzik is a bail magic at Shirachina. 아마 디 보고 주주니다 아마 기본 백업이 치그레스라 얘는 아주 수프림 코르기 케이스 리저 제도 왔어 디데 세션 트라이벌 케이스 히네스 크라임라 만수 거기다 로 두유기 나로리라 더 메인 칼로 메일 가지 제고로나 저스키 디르다 디스커션 파워 유스 제라 그라운드 왔다 보래 얘는 수프림 코르기 메일 가지 제라 케이스 보고 주주디 좀 아마도 좀 말하잖아 보고 딱 말아 디제라 당신은 얘들 하려고 하는 케이스 이게 아마도 좀 말하나 보고 주주 스쿨 게 보고 주주니 그들 클라팅에 요 땅에 요 말했어 아마 게임고 저래 코 땅에 요 말이란다 컨디션을 매일 하는 거죠 어디를 매일 테크닉이 요다 그래서 카운트 디슈 거 그라운드 오케이 아니 인데 더 once FIR gets an habitual edition the investigation starts the eyewitness 상사계단 statement 얘기를 막라 그래서 가르쳐 준 상사 statement 얘기를 계속 가서 내가 더 시비대 지나라 포스트모덤 리포트 얘기를 원 서티피케이트 내와처럼 원 서티피케이트 내가 컬렉트 되게 상만 맞지 컬렉트 아니 expert opinion 되게 상마다고 자식 컬렉트 얘기라 파이널 레벨에서 디프루 상마라서 아니 자식 파일 치다 자식라다 파이널 리포트다 폴리스 파이널 리포트 저라다 파이널 부지 프루프 되게 상마 코드 프로듀스라 원디 프로듀스 코드 프로듀스 치사나 보디 간지를 케이스 레지스터 치기 예만 하는 일다 FIR 게두다 자식 파일 맞지 보도 CRC 크라임 넘버 티기 once the 자식 코드 파일 치더라 아니 더 자식 파일은 맞지 케이스 파일 치기 줘야겠다 라 딜라 디고 자식 디 코드 레슨나 코드 간지라나 CC 레지스터 치기다 2013 게 CC 넘버 인디스 티기레 랍사 케이스 미데 메일 라요나 라요나 카바레 라메가 차 코드 라요 메일 라요가 차 코드 서만단 거 코드라 케라타 코드 맞지 케 트라이얼 고스웨이 and she didn't agree to give it over. And they didn't try to go through there. It is there. Kashi did a Nilasan. Tribal with the magistrate court, the session court case Kani or Lassa. Session court be tribal in it, and the charge sheet machip file machip with the magistrate court level. Once charge sheet defiles his other case to commit session court trial, the charge sheet file is another. And consider the tribal for the session court in the case the commit session court yatam, session court notice issue trial case that means trial trial 90 day. Any first step kalana manzo the charge frame chira kisi offense the cognizable offense ingachina peshna non bailable the ingachina ani kardi charge frame chigre kisi offense the bailable and plea level the ne chig niga ta kala charge the keje chigre just ra kirana indi nani indi su shares information the one zuma re keje chira kisi na the one in la ke just to the ke ne ga sasarda convict thagara chishir ta kisi kana murder do you know convict thagara chishir ra minor crime do ingachina kusugi punishment chiko change shasher it does ra ini charge challenge show the probation discharge application get show ra kisi charge sheet the loophole you know the kind of discharge application kada charge sheet the mintu na ko discharge application get show ra ya the discharge application get na kat rare case re ta kanda the kinds na take mari mangje kinds na trial dogas na evidence na just kitak ra verify inquiry chi ta peshna eyewitness statement correct che to ko jo proof khare kare to samant ta ra manju ta stage discharge na khala bola na charge sheet chi ko ta ni ra ko ta challenge show the loophole the doing accused innocent la show ra ni pesha go na manju la case ni passport case la sa odi manju discharge application file chi yumze khanji file chi ra chi da manju pass manju ke da gi manju min resource che ma ne ne chi ite aja dila yema RC yorda Yaman RC RC trying was by no logic Yaman logic chis churura logic RC sure RC and lo mango de they say it's like a turn chera any model Bangalore the British post to chidibala model this is the Yama missy mish to Nepali manda Nepali to chis konim to konim chance court marriage ko Indian citizen rate passport yours ra and more kasi call passport ira mol ran hero mugi apply chiche mole ra ine acha di 2001 la kyoga de thong ni ta permanent property dige so sijar mas date ine RC 1987 ni 2009 case chungore ta renew chi di porta dual ya de ora RC khalo ma foreigner hi la ora ya paso kana ma Indian citizen hi la ora dil adu gala teo ha thwe ma ta mo su gyo ra ne acha di ma pesa ne mo chi ge dwe ta 지금 두두가 PCC 슈라 PCC 슈에디 파스포트가 슈에체 가스마 파스포트가 슈에체 파스포트 로시 랩스다 라 아니 뱅글로르 길라레 타무니에 키나 리뉴얼 치엘라 키나 로시 고데네 우리 사네기 폴리스키 키나 마즈 리포트 키쇼다 라 마즈 인포메이션 치고요 기세 키나 케이스 사지 데라 데기도 당시 키나 사지 데시로 나게 켄고시 메가 치나 그 얘기 박수 주니 치고 올랐다 다 아저도 벨기 폴리스라 말레시 벨기 폴리스키 녀야마라 타마들 아저도 에스피가 나와지로 에스피 컴플레인트 마델라 PCC 클리어런스 슈엘라 나와지로 던져제 마송더라 에스피 가리니 인코리 치디고라니 RC 불러라레 모나 RC 두울다 두울 인포메이션 암주 코스 디코다 SP 가제레 랍선스터를 인스펙터를 얘기당시 만 인포메이션 코스 아자들 RC 다 파스포니가 두스 이신 캐나 샤캬 모 나오나 로치 워디 와르디 시시다 캐라시시 캐나 프로퍼리 아자 dom다가 두라 코치에 먼저 벨기비게 서를 인스펙터 벨기비 SI니 모 나오나 모 나오나 인코리치디 파스포트 RC니가 되시 대원한테 랍선 SP기 케이스 잡혀라 뭐나 같이라도 아주 진행이 passport दिखाना तो मजे ले passport दिखाना जो apply चीज़ रहा तो ये Indian citizen ने ठीक था are you Indian citizen yes तंग क्या बोल रहा दीदी क्या क्या जो उन्हें लाने जीवो माँ these the Tibetan refugees foreigners इन्हें माँ by birth नमारा right चाहिए दिशी नमारा apply चीज़ रहा information false चाहिए मारे passport एक चीज़ संग Asian की जीवो रहा Indian citizen ने ठीक रहा दी लड़की बोला आज जब मतलब section 5 में खाया रहे who ever obtained the passport by giving a false information रहा वो दी confidence 지가 지나 로마 총은 나다 그러는 offense the passport act 나 디지 보면에 아자디기 컨트리 IPC 리그 했대나 아자디기 수치치래 슈 passport authority 지치래 women officer 지치러 지라 420 로 뒤 punishment다 다 passport act 지 로뒤 좀만 아자 case to work 다 자시 레비고 파치스라 자시 때오치나 좀 코트라 도나라 마페 카푸치 카이스나 남비 case to murder 다 시바 가로 이내로 eyewitness criminal case to eyewitness라 eyewitness 좀 사사라 이 아자디 case documentary 아자디 RC 더 passport 니 코르라 디지털은 사사라요 니가 뭐라나 필리핀 상호때요 어떻게 딱지고래 줄라니 마 메소기 가서 lawyer 마 디디 case 지나 가르마 가리가 내게 주의 case suppose 얘기 case 나데 뭐 치투 말했었나 case 수수치라 지바 help 되고 먼저 full take me the case 라 수수치 상마 치라니 help 받을 내내 suppose 나 먼저 지바 치도 되고 저 말아 evidence 가다 그래서 지워고도 배 라리겠다 case 토마토 evidence 라리라 엔티컬 lawyer 치게 반을 지고 콜라 비셔 디스티네 퍼센티지 디스티네 지고 코니 안들 내가 좀 막고 안들 내가 지고 말아 퀴즈 코니 가도 된대 그 바위시나라 이제 once case the lawyer full 때가 지금 캬즈 코발 디치 victim 차도 랍사 코 같이 시더라 근데 저도가 로바치도 코지를 파스포트 케이스만 핸들 치도와 거기 갈로스는 section 15나 컨디션으로 아이덴티티샤 passport case lara direct case kya chomundu ra passport case na nambi case khana phani direct case kya bora the case passport case la inji mi thampunya case majenge ne ra passport case la regional passport authority permission shoes ra case ni jagi is meeting kunsu verify chire khanda di passport di fake igachna kunsu SP la direct chire case gap chide tenda the case but without permission la central government also chire no cardinal country no person shall be prosecuted without prior permission from the central government chire central government ministry executive chade bora ta ding also pay defense ya bora research application get just ning de thambora research application ge yosra ne nahi application ge ne right roya kisi ko har chira ne kisi ne ki dila ne ki argument da dila kisi ko di na ko reject kama digo dismiss ne digo ra ne application ge wa da yuma roya ini sin should application get it should ma zu chini ini but unfortunately dismiss chisra just intimation indi ko thambushina ra ini cha case thambuji khala first argument ne single lawyer get sawata just the sim lawyer ki objection da to doubt ma Yamada just change next time senior worker ki mate tu ma ra ani chida argument ke nikale ke kuch ma shuri ye argument ke just sawal ni argument ke ra chida ye already senior lawyer once argument gets sare ra and still my clients na cool argument ni present just hard chill ma and ye argument ke shula ma chu shula ku khajis na reject they correct dismiss chisra dismiss chisro ne dismiss ke ground ratta ho chochi khalan nganju khalore central government ke permission mega china case ja chobo mare charge the file shoot against the law position law is violation cha de gore so me no de ra ni wo de la di khare di cha de gore ine de ku khalo bola na de la di foreign registry ke permission du la SP permission does, internal home security permission does. They get some central government mara internal roya. And they chini manzu yang yo challenge in the session code la do appeal chin do go ra. And most probably manzu favor chance your ra. The one thing he call na discharge application chicho legally ra. Once discharge application machina just charge frame chisana and kuzugi evidence station the shung lawyer group to chief examination kuzugi eyewitness kansa samantangre eyewitness lay any council shung lawyer digi chiwa ra. Ended the ya criminal case the beyond the rest of doubt proof chiwu la jura. Ni kuzugi section 161 charge ni police station statement tikyo gangza just doing this in accused police station ni missing larda kelen but admit chimare khadu admit just doing a khari Kranzu worship general statement khari record chasar the case ga take ra ini chatigre diladikala matsugi da kuzu shungi eyewitness some statement chikpachiksi la boda yama police station khari lawati de la ra cross examination na matsu chiwa done melo ko ne kuzu ke jamatte lawful thing right kisi ke zumaro ina makche lawful thing juice ini chidure dine chief examination sasana kranzu da eyewitness legally chiri so da shung lawyer de lechi kranzu de chiri matsugi cross issue ra cross japanese chidure evidence state samasasana last the accused person section 313 na eyewitness ke statement tikyo gangza hako swel kha hako swel statement ni mamlo chiction statement eyewitness ta witness jayene sama statement lo re uni zumar na jigore kana ni eyewitness likhe yo ke evidence likhe yo main and the argument start argument gets na court order to can see shungi proof chima to na evidence cha do re proof chima convict chira convict chisa na kana remedy yo ke see the appeal the case the magistrate court convict chisa na session court appeal chi chu re session court ke thande judgment in kana high court chi chu re supreme court chi chu ra ke see the tribal but the session court ke session court ne high court supreme court to chance right somewhere yo but the chida the basic the mazuki procedure mazu practical into to wash into to see can but sure it is
thank you so much for your sharing knowledge on legal education, which is really helpful, and we learn a lot. And friends, we have a wonderful opportunity to learn how to approach in a court and how to find a case. So which is going to be really helpful us in the future life. So I'm sure that you will have so many questions. And if you don't have questions, that you can have your views and then you can share your suggestions, anything.
Nabena chasana yana manglo yinga tamazo amgan traffic rule gira onetini hazun rodi bena boba be yana romani jiga higindrochi ni koran namgala cross che dusun roba ina ane korana ane ta obarisha sare koran uzurela ni mixed oyore ane yami koran because cheba na korana nibada ane dusun yore dela kala koran so dela kala chongkana roba dela do ane Jambal to in mixed note in and Javan
criminal case in the law of the landlocks in applies is the law of the land applies Kisi Chigi Yagal citizen because Sugi crime commit Chigachine, Yagaki IPC applies Yagaki court drive Pandichu, Kisi Yagaki Swam Nagara, Council Kisi crime commit citizen in a way, Huba in a way, Chigi in Yagaki Swam commit crime commit Chigachina, Council Yagaku tribal Yagaku torches.
special. So maybe Jordan completely being you see news agency in the newspaper and the information, false information, and there is pressure on the civil law, the decision in this government. In it, very number police station show. There is no FIR style results last in the journey. FIR that is about one charge system, and doubt should if only a building from building also. Marang you to stay right now the signature devotion signature step Andre case bill FI chitan get to bole na expense for the drawing as
주로 당분이 가래. 뉴스 에이전시 오케이. 기시들 디포메이션 차지고 리벌 슬레이터를 칸이요. 지나가 리벌은 기시 맞죠. 오케이. 칸이 리벌 슬레이터 칸이 리벌 맞죠. 지난 톡스나 에리오 리벌 슬레이터 레저. 리벌은 키라나 베시나 키라 기자 독자도 라면 키라기 인포메이션 팩트 메이비 더 팩트는 키라기 리포티션 허치가 디포메이션 차지고 라. 키라나 시빌 레미디 크리미널 레미디니요. 야가 IPC의 데피니션 요 데피니션 요 디포메이션 요 기시 키라 베시 라고라. newspaper 나는 아주 slender 되게 newspaper에 기시 information 키라기 fact 메이비 제요 같이나 기시 키라기 reputation 허치고나 키라기 뭐 키라나 니 레미디 키라나 니 레미디요. First of all, criminal remedy, criminal case can complaint can do. Complaint can be someone criminal case too. Second option can civil remedy. Can he can defend can post the can damages claim to show. Patient meets some human ruin the tea. The Prime Minister of the Coral Government damages claim to show. Can I get civil suit right to in a burden of price on you? Cannot put you. Statement the false days. This statement the which need repetition, the information the only reason need repetition hurts you to court the case file here. Court file cannot damage his stops, compensation claim here. Need repetition hurt you so much the respectable is need repetition hurt though fact information the Zuma need repetition hurt you so cannot case cannot afford the damage stage. Criminal case cannot remedy yours. You are the correct. FIR did the can be sugar FIR gave a complaint gives. Documentation take the FIR gave Martha. FIR means cognizable offense it gives. In us the case he has also again he simply state one the same is criminal message is can sugar the law which in the documentation it can be in the RC last so it FIR Jagma FIR complaint seems case research 칸이요. 지난 가실 FI research 가실 complaint 지고 can endorsement of degree can it pass the degree 이게 참 그런 생각 레터널 키스티 agreement is like there and the kirang like the entity landlord the tenant polula so kana rent control act la it is agreement so kana rent control act la kisi kana rent which is taking the landlord polula agreement agreement 11 months 11 months rare now to can agreement switch over in can the kana contractual liability this kana agreement kana la agreement as per agreement terms and conditions this is full machine kana remedy case gets over kana the rent control act la hello and who need breach contractual obligation your rent agreement contractual obligation legal agreements over physical transfer obligation law ke binding ke mare ki la binding social contractual obligation is there contractual obligation agreement har ek term social kisi violation chale na case question go ini as per the terms and conditions violate so na kana direct court case question was rent agreement Patent is labor. Patent is 100% sure. Intellectual property, the 5th year, corporate practice, litigation field. Just information, patent innovation of new thing chala saw discovery china cannot patent cannot chala saw ji cannot patent but in not necessarily chala saw go mara chala already yo but cannot give form this change na cannot patent right patent right nyama in a lot do is some sura chisu yaga ra manzu ki ta convenient ni thama jesha signature member char yaga chisu yaga ta manzu ki na ite patent law manzu 먼저 가서 지나게 먼저 고르는 거예요. 디나는 그 시크릿 멤버 찾아서 야기 배 와이스요. 다 그죠. 로 이슈 있어. 그냥 다 쇼르메가 but the look do the action look chipshita. Right? It do is can right the main way patent research here like can I description can jala saw innovation chip. Right? Can jala innovation chip là mi chimba su khala di jala di can patent research is na mi chimba chip chip so show ma. Kisi patent can jala chip chip ko be chip so ga jala ke infringement of patent right can case file show. Right? Patent chalo patent it patent के थुसु योरता खसिरा किराना लिमिटेड योरता किराना लो patent infinite टेमर किराना लो दु यम लो चुपशी थुसु चिगले दीपोर किराना फुल राइट चाहोरा किराना विश बन फ्रेंचाइज स्टेट शो हरिले छि शोरा once किराना लो चुपशी शासना जनरली बिसु इन युस शो इने दोस्ता इने छिसु ने एक्जिट न शेयर मेरो यागा छिसु सिक्युरिटी मेंबर चारता रा उन्दी के GRE agreement country like I'm sure me can say that have the capusta me or 50 years policy to the Jaiba doing it and you're Dina Halogana his secretary member cannot reach the secret member channel patent intellectual property concept of rights enforcement shape Canada patient in a second of Dima it is serious.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Jixin Wangbo. I'm an LLB student from final year LLB students from JSS Law College, Mysore, and I'm so grateful for these organizers for organizing and to giving us such great opportunity to participate in this and to improve and gain new knowledge about refugee law and all legal things here. And especially I'm so happy that this is my seminar topic very recently last semester, Tibetan refugee rights in India. And it was my seminar topic last semester in 9th semester, now I am in 10th semester. And here I have three questions because I faced three problems in my own life, and those problems are I faced from my made some friends. First of all, work permission and arts problem, motor accidents. So let me speak in Tibetan language for these problems to make it clear. And Bangalore, Delhi, especially any Mumbai, Sidiwala, company only some consular apply exit on some ways in your two targets about Motokangi country. Kenzo refugee in the arsenal work permission and in team with this consular. Any consular only can eat the Tusra, any Lara Mara in the Lara Kunzi, sit down on the qualifications how my Lara Ramidulas. That Rokomon with the ranching Jangiori, that also kind of soft they covered time with the only summer. That also can RC digging out on refugee in the government job that any words to show Omar, Dimash has how much chocolate and that teaching. In the explanation, digging with the riot, and Nancy Kanishigati was a company did a verification to Gora certificate tapes in the letter. Young authority you get to jail the only call in language, Kunzi Hakunduraya, only Kunzilaya. And you had the RC Gun Garson and Maharan Ganin Tistraya. How was all it some of any salary somebody gave good to go Maridaya. Injigation me, Jakishing me, any pinja to the RC necessaries, Jan or RC minute to Marinjin to Sorella. Pinja from Pusho and the washing Mare and asking Jodashing or Machin Jodashing Mare. Any me washing by like is it me washing by the Pesha Peshalim, any my RC Deradunasus. Kid and Slatani, Umbashi Padra, Lapa Panza Jamas, Digital Gestra, only didn't some signature to Penal Samaruja, which you bring up on Dronera. Any science to mean to teach Raya. Any one in the visitors, Gavro, the RC suicide, no, Mandro, Chilo, the immediately Peba Juji, Nijual of one Bishop Lenstra. And go to Yadro, Bishop Jimmy Arsis, initially to Samaniki, school certificate, come and mean you did the Arsis that you only do. The Dean has literal in Shinhagos. I mean, this in the I see the application and I sit in a Yagri, my Kunzula and scholarship and this in a Shula, Loton Hadra, and young Pinja, I see the birth certificate Korean and birth certificate in law and style. Birth certificate language, dig on a dinner based in the Arsila best match in the birth certificate based in the ICSOS. The certificate somewhere as and how to Samana ICRC certificate someone in Nolo, Balam in Norgo, Amla min Norgo, my date of birth Norgo, and it's Israel. And it is Nig RC by accident dig Nazu. Me Dashunya, the Ansara, my brother to Salangani, taxing Tivina, Tinina, to the Kuli, Kumag and the baby, Kumag and Trust. Only when you duplicate issue till Israel. Duplicate issue to do some only the Yisama there are no Joe, there are no Tampus, there are to do some meeting Chula, Martha, office, no meeting Chula, La Pagaro, and Dimitins. And now, Rosin things about others, you gave me. As they call them, Timmy Fishola Morris. Bishop Timmy, one of Timmy Villain. Ni Bogan of Muslim machine, so no digging out of was and yard living. After political science and electricity. Mobile when the combustion in jail. I mean, Muslim machine and the woman of Gigi, there are the part dry like Bishop and Gilas, woman don't applications. Last no woman don't have your RC when the issue are the jokes. Duplicate issue. What did the sure like you had an eating on Parliament or carry and now one thing when you soon educated, had it to land. This is no woman Timmy show young Marilas. This sort of master, when the Norwegian Rajan when you duplicate the issue to me killing. Only Kanye, they wanted some of the machine, when the Kanye is dry. I want that. And the Kanye Super the Kala is around. To San Velos on a paper which you had a papa and journey samba. Hold and drink. Carci, what the Kukaga, Katusama, Kuri Taran Kadu, Surgi Babata and Java, which did a Kamatura, 2 times in Nicolas, don't do Raya. Accident, the people de la Nunju Omare. Couldn't the thing on the helmet going to Raya. She made the helmet going to do 2 on the Donsha. Don't do some place, Kuni Nigarazi, Babani Achodo. Trosani, don't go for listen. Naturally, some and the robot to Chini and robot to Yamashi, police and children, and Jimmy Cookie, Koranga, Amlada, and the ladies, police station and journey, dig Babakishan, Ran Baba, the court la Josare, court Gidani, Fondangri, Yoki, and the report la Joras. The Dawani Dawson she get on Yoman, Papa Nagatra, police who like kitchen chapel in there. These are Amati the deep Papa Yushas. Baba Yusha, and to get 5 show and your brother to do this. You run a Mansuna Yagri. And you only like the Baba police station at another Sasser. When anything that I needed or had it, and you go same as your Dangazula Chinjagi, the world diamonds can eat so cheap to Masraya, the Rocomotion Barani Tune. Or and it's a man that can eat the silver when he then some arrives away.
Extend chance line ba knan baba gari di ninjut line ba chida normally it is ra gari che di ninjut sig chida raya and once the kran case research has it the case research has na kran baba assist chi do da ba kinds the case the gari assist chi ni kran remedy gari na on the spot kran station attention or in every month is sir right ni RC owner job da na RC owner ina rights your kran it is nganzu chida ki kran so case once property case in of property chi police custody na yana ra option here can see extreme case trainer direct police ki vehicle release show bailable offense next case bailable offense ra can see non bailable offense ka chana court la section 457 application file show so release application file show release application khala na jana china china application khare na ile china bakwa de case masa bo te chong ma ra kaise bakwa de bi cha de wo kyan proof cha de wo ra ko ju bi ta khalo evidence cha de wo ra je ni case kyan zo ma law yo section 46 pending disposal case the masang bakwa ten chong ra kyan zo release application section ma de ja wo re ma chu khala na khada bakwa di regular use changes ra bakwa di manzo ki penni ki dusra vegetation ni dus cases station a shastan sa gyajum ko chadu res ine ki court ki condition khare undertake chibus na manzo ki release application ke ra release jawata kunzu ki khajin objection ke ra process samai de juma objection ke ra kunzu ki station call for report na kunzu ki bakwa di university certificate thing manzo police do reported ju ani juma objection ke ra objection mare objection ke ra manzo list change ni khais na manzo khalo ko na khanda daily use ra ine court ki khadu khishne che ko manzo conditions su peshna bakwa ki color change means ni bakwa di element means ra ni bakwa di sum khanda without court permission na sum means kissing khare di bakwa color yuwatang means court ki da ayo ki khadu direction na court ki le chu ide na court list change ra ine ni of the action case ke na absurd ki manzo na action case khandu ma ade chine ra ni ma che release chi ra ide re ine I am report in action case ide da ra kina o support ide da ni ma che release chi na kina ide da ya action cases la ra thamuni la first FIR get ho chu kina bakwa release chi na ra master report don't chu re I am report chi go da I am report kina manzo RTO ni ra I am report go I am report manzo ya practical to speed up chi go direct kuna police official I am the practical la ge da ni na ide ra fact ide ra ila ti manzo ni ma chi la de ni ma ni na de tu sheba I am report the case na ra kina bakwa de chu ra police de kina gum ya cha bol de bo nyi chi pore ki chi re ki se bakwa de gum du go sin ki sing ni police la bakwa de condition de fulfill ma cha ni bisha de ko la le ti su re ra at any time de chu go bakwa de ini bakwa de na RC owner ko do da RC bakwa di RC dires mid dires ini also practical na police manipulate chi go da ra ni do ma ta RC duste ra mid de tang sha go ra ni ko na ni umar ko la ma RC da samata ul jesh ki ra dir release ni chu kina ra ni wa de kina pet case ra kina ajna na su case kina case du ra khare da di
case du to yo mari gela masela na case ya file chi mara ngoi sina ngal ju file chi
wa da su file chi se ni
su file chi song la ni police khala na ani ju information ka de na phajo ki kyo la file chi song kyo ga chi da ko la du ri la ko chi da police ngal ju khala police ni khala na 24 hours na lo kun ju ki police custody na lo yena ani kun ju property di 주진 인접진하러 라 릴리스 시기리 온디 레아기 덥다 요랑 아주 나가 저 저거리 딜라드 삼바 플리스라 나가 저 참 플리스 칼라나 요마 켜아지 콜라 게스 파일 치사 송라 다원이 나로라 게당그리라 순줄라 다 다원이 나 게당그리라 다 군주타 코나 드레샤를 국디 다 게당이 요마
그랬다 이리라 그냥 에비던스 요마래 그냥 디컵라라 키시 컴플레인 디 폴더 파 제트는 지고 거리치 경우라 이러 울데 그냥 한 마음으로 수제를 다 그냥
거리치 truth
거리치를 그냥 하게요라 니트 그냥 에기스 퍼센트 무슨 victim 소셜에 다 그냥 거리를 바바 리스트 거나 그냥 police station 케이스 그냥 게 리스트 줘 그냥 아스킨 쇼다 이 constitution 거래 Let's test this. What later are they?
Can you be the use that I'm like going to do the shadow? Let's when then the don't see Mara. When you can do this, but what with police in
your topic, your legal challenges for Tibetan community and she will remain as evidence workshop. Evidence is the evidence you mark evidence you much like ask cross lawyer investigation stage on the lawyer the practical the kira similar MVC the session theory extreme cases especially
the yemin designation of the rana ni nima the Delhi High Court ne private police na ya jaga ki passport ne ro kunju tele na so dijelan ngarangi pa Bangalore passport office to che passport agent through apply chi ra passport ni apply chi di tango agent ki Indian citizenship invalid ni Indian citizenship ni tabse to ra so laki de your race na ra this in which one race normally apply chi na di race ni jaga ki missing apply chi ra apply chi di ya passport office la ya file to do kunju khana tana charang phevales ani phevai bai jang jagi passport tesu mares jeni passport officer koran to ke shidi chira koran ki shidi chine tam dinga khawu che mares ra di and minister of external affairs ne nazul update khawu chhe mares 이분들은 이들 동간나 딜리기 포모들라 아니 인들 passport rashas dilishune ani de chapana le phebala de passport dogo no questions indishni apply chinga de odagi yunga de mora individual case raise das roya ani ine chanchibu marcha das ra din the shin phoma go do sadela kalam just to ani under Ministry of External Affairs ne update khamuch male ba inza no jo chedam da machine dus de las ra cases samala ani ine khaya mari dawachik jel kharachik shoda sara inde jatta de lok ni single case ra ya dawachik jel yang jo doi yang jo du yang jo khabo chila em do konjala ya update le ma so lo do dele yang khara Ministry of External Affairs ya yigistang na asa ya yigistang yo ni shish pira ne reply khabo chila me do no konjik dawsum jel yang jo shoda asa office la update chila ya dawsum jel yang jo doi yang khabo chila update khabo chila inde jel dawa thul jela sara dawa thul jel doi या खाओ जब टे मिंदु दीजर जो लॉजिक जब शब्द लॉजिक जब हम जो ड्राइंग इन खाओ जानते हैं जो खाओ जब टे मिंदु कुछ खाल बना मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स ने खाओ जब टे लेगो मारेस राया यानी कुछ तो उन इंडिविजुअल केस रेस ना जो खाओ छे बार ये एक इंडियन की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ना जब 1956 में 87 पर तो केबे सम की यानी जगह में से छड़ो रेस राया ani thang ni file passport file ade dusar khade right passport office la dijik che ni tadi proceedings china yagre ti dusra ta wait for the process china yagre yana legal legit thabje china yagre ni legal ne thabje chiwa ina thangbo de agent to do indiji khachilana ni clearly la mara phabagi phabai chap jo shela da dichik nindu de samudra da khuzula no dichik chani ta apply to choina this legally through door rachna ani doso hazus to na da ani lo hazus lege na ani casing ye cases indian government case kya ina thobe ma so le chances khazu me no dichik ke de
Diga no assim que na recheio da tia mas não puxi cara então tem que ser chamado eu
Thank you one and all. With this section we conclude morning session, so I think all of you must have tired and feel hungry after long session, so we'll have lunch break here, and the afternoon session will start at 2 o'clock, and Mr. Colin Gonzalez will be joining with us. Mr. Colin is expert in public interest litigation and constitutional rights for non-citizens. So this topic is going to be very interesting as well as very helpful, special for Tibetans, and we hope we'll have more of interactive section. So please be on time, and we'll start at 2 o'clock, and we're looking for more participating. Please ask your friends if they came back from the class, so we'll have more interactive section in the afternoon. And there is an announcement. We have a slight change in the prom schedule. So we keep first Mr. Gonzalez right after the start. Thank you, and enjoy your lunch. And lunch will be arranged in the ground floor. That will be diner hall. So thank you.